What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a special episode of the Heroes Hearth Warcraft 3 Fight Night. My name is Kendrick, and I'm being joined by my wingman, the one and only, the wonderful Grubby. How's it going, man?
Yeah, very good. I'm so excited for this one, Kendrick,
Yep.
and I know you are too. It is our very first 2-on-2 fight night for Warcraft 3 after more than a year of running the show together. It's so cool, and we've got such a cool team to watch as well.
And I'm a little bit in the pickles today because my heart beats for the Germans, of course, obviously, who make one half of the lineup today, guys. We have Spiral and XlorD, but then currently I'm located in Sweden. I moved here for multiple reasons, and I find myself in a very good spot. You know, I like Sweden. I like the people, I like the culture. The food is debatable. You would like it, Grubby. Lots of banana
Yes.
pizza. Lots of banana pizza.
Really?
Yep. Every second
That's
pizza I find on the
amazing.
menu has either pineapple or banana on it.
That's amazing. You know, one time Quacknix from the Heroes of the Storm scene, the pro player that, of course, you and I casted loads of, he's like inviting all the VIPs, all the players, all the casters, all the staff. He's like, I know this great place. It's a great kebab place. So he takes us there. It's like 10 minutes walk with another 10 minutes of searching because he forgot where it was. And we get there and we order like, I don't know, like a kebab pizza, I believe it
Oh,
was.
no.
And it was lathered with more shampoo than a woman's head during the shower. And it wasn't shampoo, it was actually garlic sauce. But the whole thing was a mountain, like an icy mountaintop of snow. It was pizza, loads of kebab, and even more sauce. I was like, Quacknix, where the hell did you bring us?
The saucier it gets, the more the Swedes seem to enjoy it. That's also my experience for now. But hey, saucy matchups, we definitely have that here because the Swedish team, guys, consists of ThorZaIN and Knoff. And I know, Grubby, you've been playing with Knoff quite a bit on your stream as a 2v2 team. So
Yeah.
is it hard, or is it actually possible to proclaim a favorite in this matchup, or do you think this could go either way?
You know, it's pretty tough. First, to hinge on your first point, playing with Knoff as a teammate, I was actually a bit nervous playing with him at first because he plays with ThorZaIN, who is such a good player that I was like, it's really tough to fill the shoes of ThorZaIN. Like, first of all, as a 2v2 teammate, he's ideal. He's a very gentle-mannered guy that I don't think would ever blame you for anything, even if you mess up. So, yeah, maybe I would have to be careful that I don't piss Knoff off, you know, because ThorZaIN is always so kind. And then he's also a phenomenal player. But Knoff, you know, on the solo ladder, he's not in the top 10 of GM yet. But when you see how he plays in 2-on-2, he has really good communication. He has a good understanding of 2-on-2 as well. And he's really friendly. So in terms of team spirit, I think it's going to be really good on the side of the Swedes. Now, you asked, who's the favorite? On the other side, we have XlorD and Spiral.
XlorD and Spiral, of course, not much needs to be said about either of these players. We haven't had XlorD yet on Fight Night 101. We did see plenty of Spiral in the past, though, and despite his recent loss, I would still, against Vortex, I would still say that he's in a very good spot. He's in a very good shape, and of course, in 2v2, we all know that sometimes the orcs are kind of like the backbone of the team, you know? Very important, strong heroes, good value units. And if you have someone like XlorD then holding the backline, you know, with fiends and statues and all the good things that undead bring to the table, I think you have a very, very dangerous team. And XlorD, of course, constantly within the top 10 ranks of the ladder, Pat's ladder, obviously. Very strong player.
Yeah, he is, and XlorD has been top 3 for most of all the seasons of W3 champion so far. And as I carry this thought, apparently your volume is a little low,
Yeah,
could be slightly higher.
So up here a little bit. Let me know if it's better now, guys. Also turned you down just a tad.
Okay. I don't think I will hear you differently, right? It's only the stream.
Only the stream should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you sounded fine before for me, and
Okay.
afterwards. That made it worse. You're way too quiet now.
Still low? Okay, then we're gonna just turn Grubby down just a little bit more.
It was fine before. Yeah, XlorD and Spiral are going to be running the undead orc combination.
Yep.
And keep in mind, guys, this is a best of 7, just like our solos. This is a special event. So they're running undead and orc. And undead and orc in the past, and I'm talking more than a decade ago, was one of the worst combinations that you could have. both fiends and grunts were big and slow and not very numerous. So it wasn't very good at massing. There was a very slow start usually because orc will have a few grunts, but undead will have like a late hero. So it was always easy to abuse undead orc comps. But it got a lot better recently, and one of the innovators, I think, in this matchup was Cash. When Cash played together with his Russian teammates, he would go TC, double barracks, mass grunts.
Yeah.
So you really changed the dynamic from a blades and a few grunts and then a DK and a few fiends. Meanwhile, your opponents are doing militia fast expand, or they're doing like entangle, double rush. So I'm curious to see what brand of style, what brand of play we're going to be seeing from XlorD and Spiral. As for ThorZaIN and Knoff, Human Orc has always been quite a good combination. So in terms of matchup, I think the Swedes have a small advantage, but I'm very curious to see XlorD and Spiral's execution here.
Grubby, have you seen anything about anything from the new Crypt Lord in 2v2? I know he's all the hotness in 101 right now. If you watch our channel on YouTube, Heroes Hearth Warcraft 3, you may have seen a ladder update, State of the Ladder. He's currently the most successful first hero pick for the undeads with 75% win rate.
Yeah, I saw that. That's 57, right?
57, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to switch race.
Yes.
Yeah, 57, and Blood Mage apparently is the worst with 39%. Kendric, do you want to join the game?
Yep. Can you tell me, let me see. I need to check on my phone now while trying to boost up my my volume just a little bit.
I will tell you. I just did.
Okay.
Let's see. What were we talking about?
The Crypt Lord.
Yes, Crypt Lord. I have faced it together with Knoff in 2-on-2. Crypt Lord Fast Expo. We won that game fairly easily, but XlorD is a great player, and he was playing XlorD. He was playing Crypt Lord just 2 days ago in 1-on-1, so he's clearly practicing it. And I think we could absolutely see it. Maybe not on this map, but on a map that is a little bit more convenient for a fast expansion.
Yep. Very true. Very true. And man, Grubby, I've been playing.
I think you got quieter, by the way, every time you tried something.
It got worse?
Yeah, you're super quiet now.
Super quiet now.
I think you have to reverse whatever you were doing.
Weird. Okay. So let's see. Just keep us up to date, guys. I'm gonna keep toying with my mixer until it works. But yeah, so basically, I've been playing and following this game for a long time now. And Grubby, it's the first time for me to cast a game on Lost Temple.
On what?
Lost Temple.
I can barely hear you. You're like, not only are you super soft now, but you're even dropping out a bit, as if...
Huh. Okay.
Oh, wow. That was better.
Okay. That's better now? Hello?
Now you're very loud.
Better now?
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, LT Grubby we have in the mix.
Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, Lost Temple is still a great map, and it got better because the islands are no longer landlocked. I mean, sea-locked, like with a moat. You can walk there.
Yeah.
And there's a tavern, so it's not as bad as it was. And also, when you consider balance changes, Undead used to be bad at expansions. They no longer are. So a lot of the reasons that LT was a bad map was you couldn't get to the islands, there was no tavern, so you had like weird hero combos for Elf. And Undead was never favored when everyone is expanding. But I think everything about LT got better. And in 2-on-2, it matters even less. So it's a really, really fun map still. I think it could even come back in 1-on-1 without the penalty. But that's just a small hope. But here it is in 2-on-2. So it's really cool to see.
Yep. Really cool to see indeed. All right, guys. Sorry for the audio problems. We never really had that before, and I didn't really change anything. So just keep us up to date, guys. Thank you very much for your support there. But hey, here we go. Hillsbrad Creek is the first map that we're gonna dive into. Of course, I need to adjust Grubby here. There we go. You see him bright and fine. And we're gonna.
Do you want me to lower my mic a bit?
I think it should be fine now.
Maybe you can lower my mic.
Yeah.
By like 10-20%.
It's just still low, but better than before. All right. Plus 18%. Right.
Plus 18.
That's a good number.
All right, guys. So we're starting things off with our first 2-on-2 in this special event of Fight Night. It is a best of 7. This is map number 1 on Hillsbrad Creek. We've got the Germans in the red, XlorD and Spiral. We've got the Swedes in blue, Knoff and ThorZaIN.
And this is a really cool map. I think from a visual point of view, it's really pleasing to look at, because on the left hand, it almost reminds me a little bit of Dota, you know, with the bright side and the dark side. It's kind of
I love it.
there.
I love the look of it too. And then there's like a few green trees in the brown tree forest. It's a very nice looking map. This is a community map made by community members, and it has been included in the ladder pools. Very nice to see. We see the first heroes coming out. Spiral is going to go for a Blade Master. For XlorD, we know not yet, though DK is the most likely.
DK is the most likely, although as we pointed and hinted towards earlier, Cryptlord, of course, is very strong. But that doesn't mean he has to be picked first all the time. He still fulfills his role very well, you know, as a third hero supporter. Very strong across the board, really. I think there's no debate about that. If you play him first, you would normally go for beetles, so you can creep early, maybe even go for an expansion. Later on, if you pick him as a third, of course, Impale seems like a better choice.
Yeah, that's true. For now, it's going to be the Death Knight.
Yep.
As for Knoff, he's not mirroring his racial opponent's hero choice. He's going to go with the Farseer with the semi-proxy shop at the left, which makes it look like either he just wants it to be closer to ThorZaIN in general, or it could be a fast expansion by ThorZaIN, and that's what it looks like. With him sending his Archmages that way as well. Maybe they'll be taking that expansion and the shop will be fairly close to it.
Yep. We already see different hero approaches by the two orcs, of course. Knoff going with the Farseer, whereas a Blade Master coming in for Spiral. Spiral, of course, loves his Blade Master, and it really seems to be the case that they want to get some worker kills early on. ThorZaIN, he has the militia coming over. Together they creep the null spot on the bottom gold mine here, but let's see how much damage they can achieve. It's only Spiral here, really. Of course, XlorD is built, or it takes a little bit longer until the hero arrives. So not sure how much damage they can even achieve with this.
Yeah, I mean, the Blade stealing the Overseer would have been an option if he went here right away, but he did not. Greater mana pots for Knoff, a huge item, as Spiral tries to steal just one creep, which will be worth 48 points of experience. And with that, he leaves. Now, cool way that Knoff and ThorZaIN crept the expansion. They pulled the creep so that the Purger, the Null Warden, does not dispel any of the summons, which made it a little easier to creep. Does make it cost a little bit more time in certain ways, so Spiral could have been here on time, but he wasn't sure what they were going to be doing. Now comes in the expansion by ThorZaIN, and Spiral goes immediately for the peasants, but ThorZaIN's got a little nook here where he can hide his peasants on the left side.
Yeah. This is really sick, actually. The Blade Master cannot squeeze through, neither can the Grunts. So once they make it to that corner, they are safe for now. Really cool to see there. Nice positioning. And it really goes to show. By the way, we have to mention this as well. The Swedes, ThorZaIN, Knoff, and there's some other lovely people there like Enders and Scott, for example. They're in a boot camp at the moment. You know, they're all in the same place, so they have real-time communication.
Yeah, that's a really big advantage. Not just the communication, but also the just the team spirit.
Yes.
Having played in a number of teams and having had a number of boot camps with various teams, both the Western Four Kings as well as the international MYM team. 2 grunts going down, by the way. Amazing play here by ThorZaIN with the nice surrounds. But having played in those teams, every time I've done a boot camp with teammates, everyone has been in better spirits.
Yeah.
Everyone goes the extra mile for one another. And yeah, just better performances all around than you would have done if you meet the day of the competition or the night before the competition.
Absolutely. 2 grunts just had to say goodbye there. That's a heavy blow, of course. Spiral tried to body block one out there with the Blade Master and the Windwalk hitbox, of course, but it wasn't enough. Nice body blocking, but the expansion was delayed, so at least they got a little something out of it. And while XlorD has been creeping up to level 2 very quickly, keep in mind, guys, that all auras in 2v2 are even more potent than they are in 1v1, obviously. Now, of course, with the DK aura, they can maybe add some Fiend's Harass on top of that as well. It gets more workers, Spiral that is, but once again, this safe location here in the bottom left turns out to be ever so precious.
Cool positioning indeed by those peasants, but Spiral and XlorD have a plan. They're going to go for the cancel, and this Arcane Tower is 99% of the way finished and will not reach the end. Another grunt is going to go down unless Spiral TP's out now, which he does not do. He will have to lose the grunt and lose his TP. But this is another successful cancel. XlorD might lose his TP as well. He would have to Houdini his way out of here for that not to be a thing. But the expansion has been cancelled. And even though 3 grunts were lost, which is a very significant loss, ThorZaIN is still at tier 1. This is the entire point of the build by ThorZaIN and Knoff. They are putting everything they can onto that expansion. And ThorZaIN's Mountain King, ThorZaIN's Blood Mage, is going to be nowhere even close to being started.
Absolutely. So basically, the Swedish team right now is playing 1.5 against 2 players, really, when it comes to strength. And the hero levels, of course, are going to be their tremendous. Hero size, hero number, super important. We see the Shadow Hunter coming out. Lich is already on the field soon as well. And let's see what Knoff is going to add here. Shadow Hunter, of course, as well. So yeah, I mean, not only in terms of hero numbers, but also in terms of experience, the German team is getting really far ahead now with these constant worker kills, with these early kills on the units. Really strong.
Players' forces are
Spiral did produce 2 extra grunts. He's made a total of 5. 3 have died for the cause, but I dare say it was worth it. Wouldn't you say, Kendrick, with the expansion delayed?
100%, I would agree. Because right now, they're basically lacking one player, that is the Swedish team. So, let's see if they can bounce back.
ThorZaIN is like an aura bot right now. Brilliance and devotion on that Archmage. For the rest, his footmen don't represent much threat at all.
Just gonna add a score real quick, guys, because of course in 2v2, the overlay doesn't show that, so I've got you covered. You haven't missed anything, by the way, for those of you tuning in just now. It is literally just the start of the series, and we're gonna have a best of 7 at that, so epic times ahead.
Spiral is at 37 food. He cleared the expansion, but for now just tracking the movement of ThorZaIN and Knoff, who are being fairly aggressive. Now, XlorD and Spiral both don't have a town portal scroll, so in order to defend either of their own bases effectively, they need to kind of stay nearby one another. But it seems to me that XlorD is by far the strongest here. However, Hex is a big threat against him. In fact, they're going to go for the full surround on the DK attempt. The Grunt, the Footman, they do it!
Oh boy, there they go. And this means no more TP available. Of course, that had been used earlier. No DK. Oh, that was transferred. So sick. Nice play by the German team here, transferring the last saving grace item, the Invul, just in time. Now the Blade Master needs to be careful, though. The turnaround focus on the Farseer is real, though. Speed Scroll being used as well. Time was bought. Chain Lightning was used, but it's just not enough. One more auto attack. Hex comes through as well. ThorZaIN cannot finish the work that he just started.
Frost Armored Blade Master running away with the Chain Lightning to scare the living daylights out of him, but he did get away. A lovely greater invulnerability pass to the Death Knight of XlorD for him to survive. The surround was not maintained. Blade, no TP, does have Windwalk. Oh wait, of course it's his own army. He's fine. He's not going to kill himself, lol.
So expansion is running, grubby. ThorZaIN is finally recovering, economically that is. He's on his way to tier 2, almost there. But of course that was a vicious fight that does happen there. Now let's see. Frost Armor, by the way, so much value because hero focus really, I think focusing heroes in 2v2 enters a new dimension, you know, when you have double the damage, double the CC available potentially, every tiny ounce of protection, whether it's an Invul Potion or Frost Armor, really makes a much bigger difference now.
Yeah, that's true. And Blade Master is one of the few frontliners, of course, in this game. There are a few Raiders and Grunts. There's a Death Knight, but XlorD is all ranged army for the most part. So Blade Master has to remain careful. These footsies have died. ThorZaIN chose to keep them here on this side of the map to check for the counter expansion. It's clear what the Swedes are playing. They go for a fast expo at all costs, and they repeatedly scouted the natural expansion of their adversaries. They know now that all they need to do, and that's easier said than done, all they need to do is to defend against the oncoming attack. 3 bases versus 2. Riflemen are here. Mountain King is going to be coming out at some point. It's being produced now. It's double barracks rifles with some priests. It doesn't look good for me, as far as I would say. It doesn't look good for the Swedes. The Germans have a much better army at the moment.
And they're trying to buy a little bit of time. You know, they're trying to pinpoint the Germans back into one of their bases. ThorZaIN diving deep into those burrows with the rifles and the water elementals. Keep in mind now, it's a little bit body blocked here. The water elementals very smartly positioned tactically, blocking the entrance way, so that XlorD cannot enter just like that. Heavy peon repair coming in, loses 2 riflemen there as well. Cryptlord, by the way, the all-star MVP, we've mentioned him before, finally in the mix now as well, so impales are going to be seen from now on.
I think only 1 rifle died. It's not too bad. A bunch of spells were used. He killed 1 burrow, so he locked Spiral at 50 food for a long time to come, considering Spiral is 50 out of 40. That means that Spiral will not get more dangerous in terms of army size for the next 2 minutes. That means they need to attack now. Cryptlord is here, Orb of Corruption is here, Shadow is level 3, Lich is nearly level 3. The red team is ready to attack. The Germans are hunting the Swedes.
Yeah.
And what does ThorZaIN have really? Level 2-1 heroes with rifles. He TPs to safety.
He's got nothing right now, and Knoff is trying his hardest to really divert the attention away from ThorZaIN's base. With those raiders and the grunts, that's a lot of damage obviously coming through, but the TP is being used. Counter TP by Knoff. He does not want to fight XlorD on his own terms. Loses 1 unit, loses Spirit Walker, but that is still a good price to pay. Of course, keep in mind in 2v2 you can share resources, so this expansion, should Knoff ever be in a dire situation, can be used to pump him up a little bit with gold.
Let's look at upgrades. Spiral is at 0-0 and working on no upgrades. He does have level 3-3 heroes with TP, with heal scroll and runed bracers. We've got XlorD, 0-0 upgrades, but he does have 2 destroyers. He also has a TP and no other consumables. Knoff, he's at 50 food, and his upgrades are 0-0. Whereas ThorZaIN, 2 attack upgrades, rifles, but very low heroes, 2 and 1. And the Shadow Hunter for Knoff is only level 1, not even Healing Wave being available.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy indeed. Level 3 Shadow Hunter right now on the side of Spiral, I think could very well make all the difference. The Mountain King is being focused immediately as well. Gets hexed, gets netted, and down he goes. The little dwarf no longer a factor in this fight right now. And we see that Knoff's units are taking heavy focus fire. Big impale coming through from XlorD as well, hitting almost the entire army on the left flank of this fight. The healing waves are rattling through, destroyers up in the air. The Germans are looking very good in this fight. I'm not sure if the Swedes can take it, Grubby.
Yeah, it looks difficult to kill anything at all. With Spirit Link and Heal Wave level 2 coming in, ThorZaIN just keeps firing away. I mean, how many gunshots can grunts take? This is pretty crazy. These rifles are 2-0, and yet it looks like they're barely even tickling the army of the Germans. ThorZaIN's Mountain King, of course, died instantly. They wasted Heal Scroll to try and save him. Heal Pots would have been more cost efficient. And XlorD's army is just virtually untouched.
Yeah, there we go. Level 4 for the DK right now. The militia was pulled. An act of desperation, question mark. The fiends are being pressured by these little men a little bit, but they don't really care. Mana is still looking super strong for XlorD. That Zombie Mask, of course, helps greatly in that regard. But yeah, they're just hunting unit after unit. And the Swedes, despite in boot camp, are calling and throwing the towel into the ring for the first game. The Germans are coming in swinging.
Yeah, the counter expansion for the Germans was available. They got the double cancel on the expo. They crept a lot more. They won the trades. They saved the Death Knight, which was really, really a big deal.
Yeah.
And finally closed out the game with a concerted attack.
Definitely true. That was a really strong showing. It seemed like XlorD and Spiral knew exactly how to play against this. Relentless aggression, countering and canceling the expansion attempt twice. Was it even twice or 3 times? I lost count at some point, but so many workers fell. And ThorZaIN, many would consider him to be the carry in the team. When he doesn't get rolling, you know, when the human economy doesn't get rolling, what are you really going to do? You're stuck with a level 1 Mountain King, some riflemen, the numbers won't rank up immediately, and that's when the strong mid-late game from the undead orc combo really comes rolling.
Yeah, that's true, and his expo was just too late. His Mountain King was too late. They didn't have enough map control in order to do some creeping. As such, the Germans collected the first victory. Well-deserved, 1-0 lead for XlorD and Spiral. So I'll be hosting the next map.
Very nice, thank you. So yeah, guys, for those of you tuning in, we're having a special episode 2-on-2 special, if you will, between Sweden and Germany. We thought it was nice to switch it up a little bit because, you know, change and there we go. Change is the spice of life. So why not make it a little spicier? And guys, of course, this will not affect the outcome of the 101 series at all. Next time, we're going to have Vortex back from the throne. The undead Lich King will reign and defend his title. We haven't really decided yet who he's going to face. We wanted to get, I can share that much behind the scene knowledge. We wanted to get Lucifron, which many of you guys were anticipating and really excited for. But Lucifron seems to be very busy with real life and doesn't play a lot of Warcraft 3 as a result. And that is why we're likely going to go for another matchup. But hey, who knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks?
Yeah, exactly. Don't get the brother derby of Lucifron and Vortex, but we'll find someone else worthy if such a person exists in Europe. Or is Vortex going to be the forever to be crowned king? And we shall see. For now, second map here in the 2-on-2 of ThorZaIN and Knoff versus XlorD and Spiral, with the Germans being ahead 1-0.
And Avalanche is a map that even I am still familiar with. Very nice map in my opinion. I have a soft spot for snowy, icy map. That's probably why I like Northern Isles as much as well.
That's why you moved to Sweden.
Hey, don't even get me started, Grubby. I don't think I've ever seen this low amount of shitty weather ever since I moved to Sweden. It's crazy. Maybe it's the Stockholm region, you know, but it's sunny days and sunshine, the nightmare of every gamer, because you feel ever so guilty staying at home.
Yeah, it's nice that it's good weather there, but just wait till winter.
True. How are winters in the Netherlands? Do you actually get much snow over there?
It's funny. Netherlands is a tiny country, right?
Yeah, and very flat.
Yeah, very flat, tiny country. But I moved 1.5 hours away from where I grew up, and the difference is 3 degrees. That's more than I would think is possible. 3 degrees higher in summer and 3 degrees lower in winter, because it's a bit more inland, a bit closer to Germany. Huh. So it's a bit more extreme weather now than when I grew up. And the closer you are to the sea, the more temperate it is, because the sea balances it all out, right?
I would assume so. And you can always tell in regular intervals when, you know, there's summer holidays or school holidays in general in the Netherlands, because they usually flee to the mountains to go skiing.
True. That's true.
All right, guys. Back to Warcraft 3, though. We see Spiral and XlorD, the German representatives, kicking it up here with a strong first performance. So Knoff and ThorZaIN, they're going to have to deliver. What can they do? In the Swedish boot camp, you saw something, Grubby? Oh, yes, I saw it too. A ThorZaIN special.
They're taking things in a very different direction. Knoff has gone for the TC and 1 barracks grunts opener, as well as with the shop. We see Spiral, the other orc, has gone for a triple item no barracks tech with 1 burrow. And ThorZaIN has gone for a paladin and rifle build. So the play here for the Swedes will be to fix their mouse. And then once that is done, luckily keyboard, or he would not be able to tell us. He would have to draw with with his mouse, like minimap ping everywhere. It's like, help me, mouse keyboard broken. But the Swedes are going to play the double aura build. Devotion aura paladin, endurance aura TC.
So good. And of course, ThorZaIN, guys, he's known for his love and affection towards the paladin. Even when other humans deemed it not playable anymore, he went for paladin rifleman in 1-on-1 and performed outstandingly well with it. So let's see what the paladin, of course, one of the most potent auras in the game, can bring to the table right now. Did he get the last on the peon? Yes, he did. Nice one. So the Spooters didn't get it.
The funny thing is, the peon gives more experience than any of the spiders. And second thing, the spiders look different, but they're all level 1 spiders with identical stats. Even though the red one is bigger and redder, it doesn't actually give any more experience or gold.
Yep. So there
it does
we
give
go.
the tome. So that's actually nice. Something probably that Blizzard 2002 should have done for all creeps. I don't know, to give the creep that carries an item, if it's part of an identical creep also in the same camp, they should actually color it differently so that you can remember it's the green troll that has the tome. It's just something nice.
Yeah. Was Avalanche the map, by the way, Grubby, that was that had a different version where you could double mine? Is that?
Yes.
Oh,
This is the ladder version.
Yeah.
The original Avalanche was also on ladder, but it just meant it hadn't
Terrible.
been updated for competitive. Yeah, it's so bad. You could fast expand between the two mines, and it would actually only human and orc could do that. You could mine 10 peons to one great hole into 2 gold mines simultaneously. But if you're elf or undead, well, you're just out of luck.
Just play a different race, lol.
Yeah.
All right, speed scroll being used here because Knoff knows that if he doesn't take care of his grunt this way, the Blade Master's going to catch it. I think the Blade Master's still going to catch it, though. Oh, never mind. Holy Light saves the day. He did not go for Aura first, by the way, and that really saves the grunt in this very much situation here.
ThorZaIN just starts creeping. His paladin may be low, but he can make use of the holy fountain, healing fountain. And this will be level 2 for the paladin eventually. Spiral does get the creep steal on that one. Delays level 2 for just a tad.
Just a tad. We're looking at the TC here right now. Knoff, of course, he would love to have Stomp at this stage. And now the race begins. The staring contest. Who gets the Ogre? And it looks like the Swedish team got it.
Yep, and both items. Pendant of Energy, Cloak, and the XP all went to ThorZaIN and co. Meanwhile, XlorD does a really tough camp. Nearly dies.
Yeah, the Polar Bear Misha, I sometimes call it. Of course, very difficult, especially with the DK and Fiends, who of course take so much damage from this normal damage. But the beauty about this 2-2 is, of course, that you can use healing items on your allies, so Spiral to the rescue. Now, it really seems to be the case that... oh, nice find, by the way, with the Ring of Regen after taking so much damage on the DK. Cannot be overestimated. But the beauty really is that it seems like XlorD is kind of the poster child, you know, that needs to be taken good care of. Whereas Spiral is trying to cause as much mayhem as possible so that the undead player won't be interrupted and disrupted from creeping up his DK as fast as possible.
And that's usually the dynamic, not just with Orc, but also with Undead. Undead usually has to be, like you said, coddled, protected, left alone, and then they grow to one of the strongest races in 2-on-2 with big nukes, big coils, big novas. XlorD actually plays a pretty sick ladder 2-on-2 Undead together with one. Both Undead, nuking, both creeping. It's pretty disgusting, but yeah, he is level 3 now. Who's gonna get this Polar Bear? Oh, Spiral actually just decides to get at.
Yeah, that was a really good creep check here by the Swedish team. Not only do they force a TP, but they get the big Polar Bear for the TC with a big invul to top things up here. And yeah, XlorD managed to escape. I think he lost one Fiend in the process, but they were able to avert worse things from happening. So now they can recollect, regroup, and really just try to build up this hero advantage even more. It's very ballsy by ThorZaIN, isn't it, to really just start this camp under the nose of the German team?
It is, and you know, I think he'd be happy if XlorD loses a bit of mana trying to contest this creep or that. I feel like it's almost a bait where it says, yeah, go ahead and coil steal my creeps, which XlorD, of course, is too smart to do, because he knows it's all going to be about this fight.
Oh, grubby, and here comes the Blood Mage as the second hero choice for ThorZaIN. So it's all going to be about that mana transfer because, of course, you want to heal as much as possible with your Paladin. Or, in a certain situation, also nuke something down on the undead player if the situation allows to have it. Fiends in trouble right now. The mana drain is real on the DK. The Blood Mage is really adding quite a bit to this fight here, whereas Spiral hunting down Rifleman after Rifleman in the back line, but don't leave XlorD unattended for too long. Skeletons are actually amassing quite a significant number.
Yeah, quite a necromancer, this XlorD. War Stomp level 2 coming in here. Blood Mage mana control is amazing. ThorZaIN almost has his Paladin level 3 as well. He's actually baiting a lot of damage on that rifle, even though he knew he had Holy Light. There we go, Paladin level 3, TC is already 3, and the Blood Mage is full mana. He can give all of that to the TC here, to Knoff, in order to keep up this fight basically forever and get so many kills. It's looking really good for the Swedes at the moment.
What a different game compared to game 1 this is, Grubby. With ThorZaIN looking in peak performance in prime shape here, really compared to game 1 where he was bullied and harassed quite a bit with the fast expansion. Now he has been left untouched for the most part, has a really strong number of riflemen at his disposal, and the heroes, the human heroes, they're looking so strong. Especially the Blood Mage cannot be underestimated. It's so versatile in 2v2, really.
True. In the meantime, though, Knoff has lost many of his units. He's down to 35 food, he's getting a few upgrades and Snare and Spirit Walker Adept training, and he's also getting fortified defenses. But there's not much left. XlorD killed so many orc units, even as he lost a number of fiends. In order to prepare for this attack, XlorD actually delayed his tier 3. It's only 30% of the way done. He went full-blown tier 2, and that's why he still has any units. Had he decided to greedily go for tier 3, he would have nothing left.
Yeah.
As for ThorZaIN, he actually was going to tier 3, cancelled it now, was working on a second barracks, and is just pumping rifles from 2 barracks. Nothing sophisticated about that, but those rifles are 2-1 upgraded. And with the cancel, it says, we are going to try and finish this game now. And probably they can. Let's see.
The riflemen are such a wall, really, that prevent XlorD from entering the base of his ally Spiral. So you could really say that the Swedish team is the wedge that's driven in between the German ranks right now, and it proves to be working quite well. And the Blood Mage, of course, once again, transferring the mana over. Riflemen numbers are going over 9,000 right now. The statues a little bit out of position, don't reach the Lich at all, only reaching the bottom part of the army. So a little bit of extra micro is needed. Knoff with a big stun coming over and over. Level 2 stomp coming through here, by the way. Super strong. Spiral's VM is trying the best he can to dish out additional damage, but I think the Swedes are standing stable and strong this time around. ThorZaIN leading the charge with the riflemen. He alone is such a force to be reckoned with right now, and despite Knoff taking heavy hits, he took it for a good cause. He took it for a good reason. His human brother from Sweden is really dishing out the deeps right now.
Yeah, those 2 walkers are now getting hunted down for mana and for health. That was the final Holy Light for now, but if the Blood Mage gives mana to the Paladin, no, he's gonna give it to the TC. This is gonna be a War Stomp, and it's huge!
These stomps are made for stunning, and you can't blame Knoff, you know. He's having a good time. The more units he loses, the easier it becomes for him to control his hero really, really well, as long as the rifle numbers are still looking strong. Another one onto Spiral's Blade Master. The Shadow Hunter could be next to fall. A measly level 1 as well, and the Germans are calling the GG as well. The equalizer is there, ladies and gentlemen. The Swedes are not going down without a fight. 1-1 in a best of 7. It couldn't be more exciting.
Yeah, great play here by the Swedes. Knoff with great supportive capabilities here for ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN was the main damage dealer here with the 2-1 upgraded rifles. But look at what Knoff was able to add. Endurance aura, Kodo aura, a bunch of ensnares, some Spirit Link for damage spread, and healing from the Shadow Hunter. It's almost like a WoW RPG, a WoW PvP battle, or like a MOBA, where ThorZaIN is the healer / support and the mid shield, and ThorZaIN is the DPS, the assassin, the carry. Lovely play by them, a nice early attack, and XlorD never was able to get to Criplord. He was never able to get to Orb of Corruption. And with that, much of the power that Undead is able to field simply wasn't there yet.
And how the game can change when you're the one that got dominated and pushed back, to when you're the one who's executing a plan and you're the one active on the map. You know, this time it felt like ThorZaIN, he could do whatever he wanted. He had the Paladin. With a Paladin, you can move confidently in the map so early because you have the heal, right? You don't have to worry about losing a unit to strong BM harass or workers or stuff like that. You can basically do what you want to do, and that is creeping, building up your army and economy, whereas in the first game, it felt like they were pushed against the corner and they couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, Paladin is pretty much the most at-risk target in that whole comp. He's the only one that cannot be healed by Holy Light. But because of the healing fountain, the most dangerous part was practically eliminated. So among all the maps, Lost Temple, Avalanche are going to be significantly better for the Swedes running this tactic. And I do dare say we'll see it again, Kendric. Better than the map that we're going to be having now, Turtle Rock. No healing fountain, and most of the creeps give damage return to melee targets. Every turtle has a spiky chitinous armor that if you hit it, you take damage. So this isn't nearly as good for the Paladin build for Knoff and ThorZaIN. No fountain and damage return.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is one of those maps that used to be so omnipresent in 101 until it got removed not too long ago, and it's still around for 2v2, of course. And personally, I've played a lot of 2v2 in my life, especially earlier on in the early stages of TFT. And I always hated Turtle Rock because it's so tight. It's so narrow. You know, once you're trapped somewhere, it's so hard to get out. The vision, of course, pays off tremendously in 2v2 because there's even more stuff to discover. I was just never a big fan of it.
Yeah, same. I still remember when Turtle Rock was actually created. And this was in 2004.
Yeah.
And they said they're going to add it to the one-on-one ladder, the one-on-one tournament and ladder map pool.
Yeah,
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this map is so imbalanced. It's so good for Elf. So good for Elf. And it was, back then, it was bad against human as well.
Yeah.
Against undead, it was the worst, but still fine because Orc was doing very good against undead.
And then you had the RNG, of course, with close positions causing terrible matches, you know, tower rushes and whatnot. You can have it all on this map.
I remember one time I was facing a night elf that I didn't think I could beat. So I thought, I'm just gonna pretend that he's right next to me. 1/3 chance.
Yep.
I'm gonna blindly make catapults, and I'm gonna blindly rush with mass grunts. And of course, at some point you'll know whether he's there. But even the first steps of the build, I thought, I'll just pretend like he's there, and I'll make my whole build about doing a cheese on close boss. Hey, if I'm wrong, I lose. I already expect to lose. But if I'm right, I have like an unfair advantage. And maybe it's my best shot. So I was gunning for 33% chance.
Did it work out?
Well, I decided not to do it. I was like, no, against all fears, I will just play meta. And he was cross map, so I was happy. And I also ended up winning. So it's just, it's weird when you have like, the game is completely played differently on different positions.
Yeah.
And what do you prepare for based on your confidence level?
Ever since then, of course, map makers in Warcraft 3 have tried to avoid going for 4-player maps in 1-on-1 in general, or at least deny the option of close position. And also, I saw this in the article of Rec Rem about the state of the ladder discussion, you know, with the Oasis map being discussed at the moment with another random factor like RNG, like where's the Goblin Laboratory, where's the shop? What do you think about this new idea, this new spice to how maps are being made?
Yeah, I like it. And I think the way to make that happen is to put the incentive of tournaments with those map pools, with the prize monies, so that players seriously have to practice for that. And I think in W3 Champions, we have the power to not just force players to practice off the grid in custom games to try those new doodads that you were talking about, but also to be able to play those on the ladder. Yeah. I think that creates an incorporated map pool much more easily, allowing people to practice that in public. Because if we had to rely on Blizzard in the past, it's like, wow, we really want to have this map in a tournament, and can we also have it in the ladder pool? Like, that usually took too long in order to have that happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. Map number 3. We're going to Turtle Rock. It's a familiar map to many of you. The teams are ready. I think we can.
Okay.
Yep, teams are ready. We can launch at any given time now. There we go. And Turtle Rock. What has changed? It's been actually a while since I've last seen this map. In 2-on-2, I can't even recall ever seeing it in the recent past. So
yeah, I don't know, but it is part of the W3 Champions pool.
Yeah.
And those guys do listen to the community. So if people thought this map didn't work in 2-on-2, they would have said something. There are some imbalanced parts of it, like the Goblin Shop drops a Watch Reward, a permanent, non-destructible vision token. Yep. Those are pretty important to get early. If you can get 2, you've got complete shop vision. I don't want to say shop control, because you still need to have the muscle power in order to go there and get the invul, the heal scroll. But you do have shop vision.
You do have shop vision indeed, and of course there's even, you know, certain tricks and things you can do to lure out the ogre even more, so it's in a perfect position, you know, not even impaired by the trees around it with the vision. So lots of cute little tricks you can do on this map. So XlorD, let's see, is he gonna shift it up? Are we gonna see a ghoul strategy at some point even? Although Dreadlord Ghoul for fast expansion does stuff like that we see in 1-on-1 sometimes even work in 2v2, Grubby.
Yeah, we do see that a lot. In fact, if you look at the Infi TH, WFC, the Chinese undead playing players, they go Dreadlord pretty much all the time on every map with a fast expansion if they can, even on maps like Twisted Meadows. XlorD, it looks like he's relying a lot on past mechanics and on builds that he has historically practiced and not necessarily following other people's trends as much. We don't see him a lot with Cryptlord first, even in solo. We don't see as much Dreadlord first, but that is absolutely a strong play, even in 2-on-2 here against Orc Human.
All right, Spiral is scouting the perimeter, sees now, of course, where Knoff is, and Knoff, by the way, switching it up, going for the Blade Master himself this time. No TC, no Farseer, and for the first time relying on the way of the blade. Now Spiral following this example. Of course, what else would he do? And let's take a look at ThorZaIN. Going back to the Archmage for an early creep, no early expansion. Early expansions, of course, in Turtle Rock are super hard with the turtles just dishing out a big punch in the early game.
Yeah, I don't remember people often going for those Turtle 7s.
No.
You see that Spiral was peon scouting. It's at the tavern now. We have a Fiend scout here. I think it might have been possible if you look at the exact movements, but you know, because of that damage return, every militia will be like 160 life or less, probably less, maybe like 50, because the turtle actually likes to focus militia over anything else. So yeah, that would be very risky. You come in, you coil, you windwalk, you kill everything. By the way, there's a funny trick on the Ogre Mage that Chuddy showed, Annoying Warcraft on YouTube.
Okay, what is it?
You can attack the Ogre Mage, you banish it, you flame strike it. While it's banished, it's scared of everything because he cannot hit back.
Yeah.
So if you hit him with a spell, he turns into the AI of a villager, like little Timmy. So he keeps running away when you hit him. So you can hit him all the way to your opponent's base if you keep hitting him at the same time. And then you can kill him there, and then you can have a watch reward in your opponent's base the whole game.
Oh my god, that's insane. Sadly, we don't see a Blood Mage.
Nope.
For ThorZaIN.
Maybe another time.
Sometimes when the power of YouTube and the power of memes actually net in something useful. All right.
You see, XlorD actually tried to snipe the Ogre Mage very quickly, but Knoff isn't having it. He knows how important those are, so he's keeping XlorD busy with that and making sure that he cannot start that camp. In the meantime, ThorZaIN is distracting the Blade Master while sending his footmen also over to XlorD. Might want to try and go for some Fiend surrounds, but XlorD's scouting is good. He saw the footmen arrive here, and he's going to play this very, very safely, not allowing them to flank.
Yeah, ThorZaIN, of course, on the run from Spiral. Now used one of the healing salves that he was given by his ally. But yeah, he's pretty much out of the fight. The moment he stops, he's going to take the blade to the face, and that is usually not very healthy. Tier 2 tech coming through, 1.5 for ThorZaIN, whereas Knoff is a little bit faster here. The German team just teching a little bit faster in general on the orc side of things. But yeah, so far it's really just, you know, seeing where the opponents go. It's more like a shadow boxing fight, no real commitments, just trying to evade one another while getting a little bit of experience in on the left-hand side for the undead XlorD. Has, of course, to get the aura, which he now has.
Knoff bravely starts the camp with ThorZaIN here trying to cover for it. The Ogre Mage drops low. I think Spiral might actually arrive on time. He sees it.
That's going to be a big steal. Not only you get the item and the XP, of course, you get the vision. Oh, it is the Swedish team that now is rewarded with the vision that stays forever.
No pun intended. Rewarded, lol. Sorry.
Oh, God.
But, Spiral... Wait, who got the Pendant of Energy? Oh, Spiral got the Pendant of Energy, and he gave it to the DK. So there's only one thing that Spiral stole, and it's the Pendant. But Knoff got the Sentry Ward, the Watcher Ward, and the Ogre Mage XP. So that's still a win for the Swedish team.
Definitely, I would say so. Yeah, they successfully got the vision, and they didn't even lose too much in the process either. Looking very strong, I think, at the moment here is the Swedish team, who have a little bit of momentum going. And Grubby, you know this, right? When you're in a boot camp situation and you get the momentum rolling, every victory is being celebrated twice as intensely and can really push your performance to the next level.
Yeah, I think they probably have an audience as well.
Oh, yes. They
Scoot
have and Endars. Absolutely.
1-1 now, and they did win the last one. I see XlorD is going for the Turtle 7 together with Spiral on the left side. He finds greater healing potion. Meanwhile, Spiral scoping out the area, scouting in two ways with the Peon and the Blade Master for the other Ogre Mage. Blade comes in close, does have TP. There is still a dust. ThorZaIN has the dust and Spiral tried to dodge it. But he is here. Might go for that Ogre Mage, but no. Knoff and ThorZaIN get it. And speak about vision. That's double Watch Reward and the Crystal Orb.
Oh boy. Good luck trying to hide from the Swedish team now, German players. Like you said, this is so much detection. This is so much vision that Sweden can really build up here. Nice secure on the kill on the turtle with that death coil. And what is Spiral and XlorD now going to do against that?
Well, first of all, ThorZaIN went for Paladin second, which you don't see a whole lot. You see Blood Mage second, and that's a few steps in order to have... I mean, if you go Blood Mage second... No, he went for Holy Light. But the funny thing is, you can give mana with Blood Mage to Shadow, and then Shadow can heal more, but you're using multiple cooldowns and triple cast of spell in order to give Shadow mana, and the cooldown doesn't get improved. So as much as Blood Mage and Shadow can provide a lot of healing, it's slow. Having both Shadow and Pala, that's a lot of healing. And the Paladin's Holy Light can also be turned against the undead. So it's pretty cool to see that defensive approach. In the meantime, XlorD and Spiral go for the double Overlord at the same time. A real big power play. They get away with it as well. And we have an Ancient Jangle of Endurance on Spiral as XlorD is going to coil the other Overlord and gets a class of attack plus 12. So good items.
Those are some big boy drops right there for the Germans, and that could be exactly what they need. You know, after struggling a little bit early when it came to securing the vision at the Goblin shop, now they're coming back with a big beef burly Lich in Tau here, plus 12 damage on that, and the Ancient Django. No TC even needed. Some big items here, and they can actually actively look for a fight now, I would say so. But hey, Sweden is here to attack. They're going to take down Spiral's shop as well. And the burrows are relatively far away, of course, which is a smart move so they don't get focused that easily. But of course, that also means that the first rank of buildings is exposed. Two TPs arriving at the same time. Coil Nova focus onto the units of the Swedes here as well. They have to hold their position here, Spiral that is.
There's the Scroll of the Beast available for XlorD. He goes for it now. That should be the time to leave. That's 25% bonus damage on everything that XlorD and Spiral have. They have Shadow level 2, Endurance, Lich level 2, but this looks like an all-in by ThorZaIN and Knoff.
Absolutely. I'm looking at that Lich very closely right now. Plus 24 damage, of course, with everything added here.
D-shield first!
The mind games can't focus me like that.
No,
he hasn't shown a single
sorry.
heal the entire time, and he's just using it in the face of the opponents.
No, sorry, it was an invulnerability potion. I see him healing now. I was confused.
Okay,
I don't have the skill overlay visible here. I only see let's see.
I only see one
Heroes.
player, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a potion of invulnerability. Sorry about that. But in the meantime, ThorZaIN did get up an expansion. He's 47 food. Knoff is at 40, whereas Spiral is at 36. So he did lose a lot. And it's XlorD at 50. So it's basically XlorD against the world right now.
Yeah. And he's going to have to hold strong because ThorZaIN, as you can see right now, has an expansion. Is being harassed right now by Spiral, who gets one innocent worker after the other. Only now Knoff arrives and saves the day. But yeah, the time is ticking against the German team in the long run. They have strong fighting items, they have good heroes, and they force the Swedes back. Can they now push the momentum and maybe even tear down this expansion? Because if that is left attended for too long, not going to be good news.
It's true. XlorD is at a very strong point. He is going to have one attack upgrade. He has double Pendant of Energy. He just found another one. Heal Scroll, Greater Invul. There's Criplord out now.
500 mana.
Lich has plus 26 damage. Orb of Corruption is level 3. Blade now of Spiral comes in with the Heal Scroll and an Invul. In come the Destroyers. That's a 54 food army for XlorD. ThorZaIN is only at 50. Knoff, 45. This looks very, very good for the Germans right now.
Very scary. Can you imagine how fast the units move now with the Ancient Django and, of course, the Unholy Aura from the DK? There's Speedy Gonzalez on Turtle Rock. And of course, you have the Lich, so dangerous. Doesn't have any protective item. The stun comes through from the Crypt Lord, by the way, who's added as a third hero as well. Hero focus is real, but the TP scroll can be used just in the nick of time. That was very dangerous, considering the fact that there's Hex in the game here. But of course, that means Knoff is now all by himself. And there's Ensnares, there's CC coming through. The Blade Master falls as well. ThorZaIN, you have abandoned your friend, and Knoff is now in dire straits. Lost one hero, loses a couple more units. That is, can the Blade Master come back in time? That is the big question. Spiral's own Blade Master is going to town here in the front line, whereas the Lich is completely untouched. Respecking now to Blizzard is ThorZaIN, by the way, for every ounce of AoE damage they can muster.
Not bad damage by ThorZaIN here. His rifles are looking pretty good, and Spiral, it's not easy for him to stand on the front line here too much. The Shadow is out of mana already. Coil cannot heal the Blade Master, but I'm afraid there's not enough in front anymore. Paladin is going to get focused. Coil Nova to death, and the Knoff's Blade Master comes back. He did not have an invulnerability when he got focused.
Yep.
And this was just basically the stronger body on the playground. Oops. The stronger person here that, yeah, they went straight for the Archmage focus. It was a nice save. There was just too much power behind what the XlorD and Spiral had.
Indeed. And this really cool move, Grubby, to go for both red camps at the same time, you know, luring out the big Ogre Lord, surrounding it, or at least body blocking it as much as possible. And despite all the vision that the Swedes had, they weren't able to find out about that because it's such in a hidden corner of the map, you know, you can avoid the vision ward. It was just so well played. Really, this small move, of course they were a little bit lucky, but hey, fortune favors the bold, and they were very bold with that move.
Yeah, definitely. It's, I mean, it's a pretty cool thing when you're playing a game and you're like, let's both take one Ogre Lord. I don't remember communications like that very often.
Yeah.
Simultaneously. And maybe those Watcher Wards, they offered a false sense of security. You think you roughly know about that neck of the woods, that corner of the map. But yeah, what you see is as relevant as what you don't see. Of course, players are always going to stay out of that Watcher Ward if they can help it, which means just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they're doing the Ogre Lord per se. Like, they're going to dodge that area.
Exactly.
But they were. Maybe both of them should have put a worker there on the enemy side to know whether they're going to go for those Ogre Lords. And had they found like +4 strength, +4 agility ×2, that wouldn't have been nearly as impactful.
100% agree. 100% agree. And now, ladies and gents, I can spoil you a little bit. We're going to Lost Temple, an old classic. It's really been around in one form or in one version or the other since ROC. Yeah, I personally am excited like a little child, you know, seeing some candy in kindergarten, because I just there are maps and there are certain things in Warcraft 3 that you have just nostalgia, you know, tied to, and to me that's Lost Temple. Grubby, what is your most memorable Lost Temple memory?
Well, I was in the finals of the ESWC in 2005. And I was trying to think, how am I going to beat my Night Elf opponent's Demon Hunter? And then I did a warming up against AI. Now, my preference is always to warming up against a real player, but they don't always have the tournament podium PC hooked up to the network of other players. And secondly, everyone was watching the finals. So there was no one to warming up with me. So I just ran a game against AI, and AI went for Warden. You know, and Night Elves normally never went for Warden. But the AI went for Warden. I was like, Warden, huh? I think he will. I think he is going to go for Warden. Then I changed my hero choice.
No way.
And he went for Warden, and I had a counter hero. Thanks, AI. That was on Lost Temple.
Oh, that moment when the AI inspires you, and for a moment of brilliance, just going with it, and how can you imagine the feeling of the Night Elf player just tinkering the strategy and thinking that there's no way my opponent is going to expect it, and then he just counters it blindly.
And I would have got away with it too, if not for that pesky AI.
All right, guys. Here we go. The Germans leading 2-1 in this best of 7 between Sweden, Germany, Knoff, and ThorZaIN representing the Scandinavians, the Scandinavian pride, whereas, of course, the Germans here being represented by XlorD, longtime legend, and Spiral, the same can be said about him. Of course, not with as rich of a history as some of the other players in here, but definitely one of the new age elite, I would say, in Warcraft 3, looking very strong at the moment.
Interesting that even on a map such as this, we don't see Dreadlord Fexpo from XlorD. No Cryptlord Expo, nothing of the sort, just Death Knight. And, you know, this would have been a good map for ThorZaIN to play Pala Rifle because of the fountain. Pala can heal, even though normally Pala has a difficult time healing. But it is going to be the fast expansion, most likely from ThorZaIN. He does have the cubby hole on the safe side. His natural expansion is in between him and his ally. So most likely ThorZaIN expands. XlorD, I don't know. Spiral and Knoff, they're going to try and protect each other's ally or disrupt the opponent to the max.
Grubby, is it too predictable? Is it too risky to go for a fast expansion on this map? Because
I don't think so.
You think so?
I don't think it's risky. It is predictable, but I feel like the layout is so favorable to it. I usually recommend both myself and my ally take an expansion simultaneously, immediately. They can't cancel them all.
One's got to go through eventually.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. ThorZaIN, of course, with the Archmage. That's the first step you need to take. Let's see if the militias are being summoned very soon. And also, I want to see... It surprises me a little bit that XlorD on this map, where you say, Grubby, it's so safe to take expansion, doesn't go for an earlier hero. He sticks to his build order the entire time, so no coil harass, no skeleton harass whatsoever anytime soon.
A player's forces are under attack.
It is, of course, quite far. Like, let's say if DK finished now together with Archmage, the camp is done by the time you get there.
True.
And I think that factors into his choice. He'd rather have a strong mid and late game than a strong early game. And having said that, it is still possible for XlorD to make 2 Fiends. When his Ziggurat finishes, make an Acolyte, expand, don't make a 3rd Fiend, make a Ghoul instead, and then end up trying to use 2 Fiends and a DK level 2 to defend/harass. I don't think it's what he'll go for. I think that we have seen that every time Orb of Corruption came out, the Germans have won.
Yeah.
When it didn't come out, they lost. So I feel like Undead's focus on tier 3 is appropriate.
All right, in the middle, of course, we have the infamous city of Lost Temple being populated by so many different creeps who, of course, will cross your path on daytime, no matter where you go. And, of course, the Healing Fountain, a big point of contention. You really want to make sure you have control over this. It's a juicy creep camp as well for great experience. Not easy to kill, though, mind you. So let's see. Knoff currently being shot by these pesky Null Assassins, so the poison is really starting to add up and tick down on this grunt, who might even fall. Let's see, Spiral's mana is enough to go for another Windwalk, and he gets that grunt.
But it's nice by Knoff to block that blade anyway, because that's now double Windwalk in order to kill the grunt. And those Windwalks are very important if you ever try to brute force the middle camp.
A player's forces are under attack.
It was a fast stack triple ghoul, only 2 Fiends by XlorD, so he's doing a fast stack as the fastest you can when you open with Fiends.
Oh, Knoff, he walked away because he thought he had the kill after the Windwalk crit. He didn't get it, though. The ensnare by the Troll Trapper was so good, but he couldn't finish the job.
I see, yeah. That grunt got away with 8 life. A little bit of unholy regen from the DK. Gave him 2 points of HP.
All right, in the meantime, we can see the Fiends basically separating themselves from the main hero of XlorD, only now catching up with his army units just a little bit. The expansion has finished, and so has the Arcane Tower. Of course, harassing into that will be nigh impossible with so many workers nearby that can repair it. I don't think this harass is going to be very successful, and really we see a duel of the orcs in the middle of the map dancing around the Healing Fountain, and XlorD, for him, it's all about getting some worker kills here maybe, keeps the DK out of range of the Arcane Tower, and of course he's just trying to deal as much damage onto ThorZaIN's economy as humanly possible.
Yeah, and so far he's killed 1 peasant. Fiends have a small chance to miss if you hit the wrong peasant, so you continually need to micro them. Now he says, okay, the final 70 mana on DK I don't care about. I want to use auto attacks from Baron Frostfell in order to help here.
Yeah, it's 2 more workers, not too bad. Just be careful though, he could potentially get surrounded if he doesn't react in time. Does have a little bit of shimmy room, but I think ThorZaIN is too good of a player to let the DK escape here. The Fiend's in the back, though, still being able to kill some more workers. He's really just buying time. He knows exactly that he has to TP anyways, but he's basically TPing out with as much damage dealt as possible. So many workers have fallen. Another one goes down, indeed. And, you know, XlorD, instead of being the pampered one, the babysitted one, this time deals the damage. And I think Spiral just got a pretty sick creep still on the Overseer, didn't he?
It was Knoff that got the item, and probably Spiral that got the XP.
Yep.
We were both quite preoccupied at looking at the expansion.
Yeah,
Knoff
looking at the
ends up
XP
getting-
count, though, I don't think Knoff got it.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right. Knoff got the Book of the Dead and the Wand of Mana Steel. Both items go to him. Spiral, look at him, saving all of his grunts in his space. Good job. But
Wow.
Knoff has healed for free. There's a big difference in that. And the difference with ThorZaIN losing peasants on his expansion is that he started his tech a long time ago. And that's how this differs from game 1 on Hillsbrad Creek, where ThorZaIN kept re-expanding, kept getting it cancelled, but had never teched to tier 2 yet. So his second hero was so late. But now ThorZaIN is level 3 Archmage,
Yeah.
2 claws of attack, and his tier 2 is finishing.
Yeah, pretty insane items actually on ThorZaIN, boosting the damage of the Archmage through the roof. And this is especially useful in situations like these where you're trying to hunt some acolytes, maybe even get some ghouls if they're separating themselves too far. And ThorZaIN, it looks like he gets out. No micro even used by XlorD to potentially block the way of the Archmage. This was, I think, almost... I mean, he could have done more damage
Yeah.
onto the heroes possible, but at the same time, he needs to take care of his base, right? Microing the acolytes at this point when you're teching is more important than potentially forcing a TP on the Archmage.
So he had two options, I feel like. The Slaughterhouse was cancelable. I was surprised he didn't go for it. But instead he has stopped mining time. If we look at XlorD's gold mine, 8,600. Spiral has 8,200, so and 80. So there's roughly 300 gold denied.
A player's forces are
He
under
will
attack.
eventually get it, but people don't generally think of the last 300 golds in the mine, but the first 300. So basically he cost XlorD 300 gold, then lost his TP. That is normally a neutral trade, but it is good because XlorD is able to produce higher quality things since he went to tier 3, and ThorZaIN has an expansion. So anytime you can trade 300 versus 300 gold, that's a great thing for the guy with the expo and being only at tier 2. ThorZaIN finishes his Mountain King, is making rifles, rifle attack upgrade, rifle range, and finished his Sanctum. And he's about ready to start the production train.
Yeah, Knoff meanwhile attacked the base of his Orc brother Spiral, used the Book of the Dead and tried to get some damage done onto the burrows. Sadly, that didn't work out for him too well because the TP came in immediately, and now the peons, of course, are repairing. And Knoff has to go back here. Double hex, of course, as we can see here with 2 Shadowhunters in the game. The skeletons, of course, remain fairly useless. You know, the longer the game goes, most heroes and units deal too much damage against it. Anyways, there's Dispel, of course, as well from the Devourers at some point. So,
Yeah, the Disenchant Spirit Walker upgrade has not yet been started, but Spiral was able to deal with it with just killing them. One final revenge by the skeletons in death
yeah.
was that they dispelled, they removed clarity from Spiral's Shadowhunter, basically 3 seconds after it started, so that's minus 70 gold.
Under attack.
Minus 70. I see.
Yep.
It's a good number on Twitch chat.
We see Mountain King being crept up to basically, I think when this finishes, he'll be level 2.99. No, he's going to be 3.1. This camp is worth quite a lot.
Yeah. For a moment, I thought Knoff could maybe steal the item, but he was close to getting it. He gets the Ogre Mage though and snatches away the level 3 for
What?
himself here. Nicely done.
Player's forces
The item goes to Spiral, significantly less good than last game.
Oh yeah.
Plus 4 strength and intelligence, rather than something ridiculous like TC Aura.
Do have the Ancient Django though for XlorD. So
Whoa.
they don't have to go without it, the Germans. They seem to have found a liking to the attack speed and the movement speed provided by this item. Very nicely coming in for them.
But to be fair, they got both camps again. Like, they deserve that luck.
Yep.
Right? And of course, ThorZaIN in exchange has an expansion. And I feel like this expansion has been way more impactful and meaningful than on Hillsbrad Creek. Simply because the game is going for so long. There is no like mean big timing attack by XlorD and Spiral. They are falling back and expanding. I see an Acolyte moving to the corner. There we go. But ThorZaIN, he's pushing to 60 food. He's going to be at 70 soon because of his production. We're probably going to see more expansions. Maybe by Knoff in the corner or on his natural. Maybe in this corner here on the quote-unquote island.
Oh, yes. Of course, Spiral, he sees the rally points. He sees where this Rifleman and the Grunt were heading towards. So he can definitely play a guessing game and say that, you know, there's a fairly big chance that my opponents will be in this bottom corner with, of course, Red Drake and Granite Golem proving to be so hard to deal with. And there's just... Okay, there comes the Scout. Very nicely done. By the way, Grubby, for the first time in this series, we're going to see a beefed up Mountain King. Level 3 claps are going to be absolutely insane in 2v2, of course, despite the recent nerfs, mini nerfs with the recent patch. But I can't wait to see the war finally coming into play.
The Rifleman! ThorZaIN lost the rifle, and even more embarrassing, the Crystal Orb. The reveal, so that the opponents know he lost the rifle. He'll never outlive the shame. But yeah, this MK is not going to be nuked as easily. He has Pendant of Vitality, Invulnerability potion, lesser. So he's going to be stronger than before. And already this is my favorite of the 4 games we've seen so far. You foreshadowed it with your love for LT. I think it's well placed. This game is going longer. We're seeing expansions everywhere, creeping everywhere. The fight is going to be straight fire once it finally happens. And meanwhile, Knoff found a way to go to tier 3. Love it when he does that. He's going to have Lightning Orb. He has the upgraded War Drums aura on his Kodo. So this is not just your grandma's orc. This is the Bolt Orc.
Grubby, we're also going to see some summons in here. We have a demonic statue for Doomguard and the Amulet of the Wild coming in now for the Germans as well, for summon the might of the Furbolgs. And man, both teams are really just skyrocketing in experience right now. You said it before, level 3 Mountain King, who by the way is rocking a Mana Stone. He's going to be very happy about that. And Crypt Lord level 3 now as well. Level 2 Impale. It's going to be insanity if lined up correctly.
Yeah, he's going to have 4 of those. It's crazy. It does like 130 damage, 3-second stun. XlorD is so dangerous. Level 3, double aura, Impale, Nova. He's got 1-0 upgrades, working on 2-0. XlorD is at 65 food with a nearly fully running expansion in the corner, which I don't think the Swedes know about.
Yeah. I don't think so either. So if this one remains unscouted, it could be a little bit of a problem here. Knoff, by the way, sneakily building a tower in the base of, or near the base of Spiral, so this could be a little bit of a thorn in his side that he may want to take care of. But now the Germans are turning on the heat. They're switching up in a higher gear, and they're attacking Knoff's main base, who just finished the master upgrade for the Spirit Walkers. Here we go.
TP comes in. Where did they TP? Wait, where did he TP? He just went home.
Are under attack.
Why did he go home?
Was that
He messed up. He double tapped the TP.
Double tapped, and of course that means he has to buy a new one, though. Thankfully, he does have an expansion up. XlorD.
Shadow in front. Spiral Shadow is in front. He's out of position, but he does get away with the Frost Armor and a heal. But that's mana that did not get spent well. Huge blizzard here.
They had to use a lot to keep him safe here right now. Now comes the AoE effects, of course. We once again see Blizzard into a thick of things of units in the back of the Germans. They have to micro against that. The tower, by the way, is firing and adding additional DPS to the Swedish ranks, who are looking very strong at the moment. The formation was so hastily grouped here by the Germans with this weird TP action. The demon is coming through Doom.
Oh, the 2 summons!
Oh, the summons right here.
War Stomp, but immediate dispel on the Furbolg Warrior. And it's gone. It's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone. Meanwhile, Doomguard is still there. Goes with the War Stomp. Blizzard coming in. Clap coming in. This is insane. The Amish. The Amish are pushing in. The Swedish army is pushing in.
The stomp coming through from the Doomguard once again. Every tiny amount of stunts is so helpful. Can of course attack air units as well, as we can see with this chaotic blast up in the air. And the German forces, they have crumbled quite literally here. There's nothing much left here to support the base defense of Spiral. And look at the human army looking so healthy. The priests, the Spirit Walkers. It's so hard to kill any unit with this combination here. And the tower during all of this, once again, I can't stress it enough, has been untouched.
That tower was actually not firing at will. It was deliberately going for the max range. It was so good that 16 to 18 damage, fortified, which means completely ignored in a fight. Super cool cheeky tower, helped a lot, and now he's making a voodoo lounge with that. Knoff, what a guy. Meanwhile, ThorZaIN shelling away at great distance with his rifles. Archmage a little bit exposed.
Here we go, a lot of focus now onto the Blade Masters. The German one from Spiral had to bite the dust. Knoff, by the way, is probably mirroring his Blade Master in real life, flexing up his biceps with 2 claws and a lot of damage with that Orb of Lightning up here as well. Finally, though, the Germans can stabilize and they can defend Spiral's base. They can get rid of that tower, but ThorZaIN is only going to get stronger after this. Paladin has just entered the battlefield. That means triple hero human, very strong. And also look at the experience, guys. Close to level 4, both Archmage and Mountain King. These claps have been insane.
Both Paladin and Archmage holding a TP right now. Griffin Aviary has been added by ThorZaIN. Not sure where he wants to go with that. I mean, it's not going to be Knights or Mortars. It cannot produce that. Yeah. But he's not using it either. Maybe he was thinking about Griffins. Yep, there we go with the Stormhammer. A bold move against Fiends and Destroyers, but okay, he's a genius. And in the meantime, Knoff is making an expansion on this natural. He's down to 44 food, so severely weakened. ThorZaIN, he took the corner. He's on 3 bases mining right now.
Yep, 3 gold mines here. We have his natural still mining. We have the main base still going strong with almost 3,000 gold as well. And of course, the island here on the right bottom corner. And even Knoff is building his own expansion. So if these bases all finish and start mining, we're going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold mine to 3 gold mine situation here, which of course greatly favors the Swedes, who are already in a dominant position. Once again, it feels like if ThorZaIN is untouched, you know, if he builds up his late game tier 3 human composition, it looks like they cannot be stopped.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, it's only 2.8 bases for the Germans, because there's only 4 acolytes on the corner base, but who's counting, right?
Yeah, not me.
DK taking a lot of damage.
Here we go, DK in trouble, has to pull the release button and go to safety. Doesn't get chased, fortunately for him. He still had a lesser invul in his inventory as well in the pocket, but XlorD does not lose his pillar for now. Now, of course, the path is open, Grubby. The road is there for the Swedes to be taken. They're buying those sweet healing scrolls, of course, in 2v2, even more important than in 101. And they could now Wait, they still don't know about this expansion, do they?
I feel like they feel it. I'm not sure if they know. I mean, we could have missed the reveal. Yeah. We don't have observer tools to see if they've ever scouted it, but it seems like they actually either don't know or don't want to move on it, because that's an awkward positioning to defend from. This one is far better. MK on the left side doing claps together with Griffins against the Orcish army. On the right side, Raider gets insta-nuked by XlorD. Of course, he hates the Raiders since they will ensnare the Destroyers, and then Rifles take easy shots. First Destroyer is low, doesn't go down yet. A lot of damage on Knoff's Blade Master. Survives for now, though.
All right, Destroyer finally going down, and you can really see that this block of Swedish units, the Rifles, the Priest, completely untouched. And it's really hard, despite the 2-prong attack from the Germans, to really deal some significant damage. XlorD is looking pretty sweet, whereas Spiral, I think he's slowly but surely running out of options. His army is in absolute shambles, not really a factor anymore.
XlorD is 3-0 upgrades, 80 food, and is slaying like a king. But Spiral, he's groveling like a peasant. Please leave me some units. 32 food left, and he's kind of separated away from XlorD. It's all down to XlorD now. But a full inner-fired, boosted army of riflemen, that's a tall order to go up against.
Oh, yes. And it's so hard for the Germans to fight back into this as well, because there's no way Spiral is going to have any dispel against the inner fire. And if the moment XlorD uses those destroyers and dives in a little bit too deep just to get some devours off, they're just going to get webbed. You know, they're going to get ensnared and focused down like they were a piece of cake. So yeah, and this ramp, of course, one of the things about Lost Temple, the ramps accessing the bases can be defended so easily, and it's actually almost impossible for XlorD to help his ally in need. Look at the Mountain King guarding it. He's the gatekeeper. You shall not pass like this.
Yeah. Now this is uphill, which is not favorable, which is why XlorD is TPing, and so is Spiral. Yeah. XlorD now with 84 food. They town portal to the top. That's 4 destroyers. Those have bonus damage only to Griffins and Grunts. They're not that, I mean, it's good damage, but they're not going to easily kill Rifles. Maybe just go for the blade. They go for the blade. Knoff's blade gets holy lighted, he wind walks, and he runs. Meanwhile, Spiral's blade does not have the same tools available. Dead means dead for him.
All right, here we go. Without one of the heroes, one of the crucial heroes, Spiral, not really a factor to begin with, but now it's going to be even harder. Can one undead carry them all? The Lich was out of control last game. This time, he is not looking as dapper and fly, and of course, these Griffins are uncontested absolutely right now. The same can be said about the rifles. 2-1 upgrades coming in strong. And yeah, of course, Knoff, he is in full swing, so is ThorZaIN. The Lich now being focused. Does he have a coil XlorD? No, he was hexed in the first place anyways. No more damage available, and I think it's only a question of time until the German team is going to tap out, which would mean the 2-2 equalizer.
Yep, that would mean a 2-2. Shadowhunter was left, XlorD TP's out. Where did he TP, actually? Oh, he stays! Tactical reposition.
That is true. I don't think the German team knows exactly how many bases the Swedes have at this point, or else I think they would have called it.
ThorZaIN is 96 food on 4 bases. So big.
All right, more hammers are flying. Of course, the Mountain King, an absolute dominating factor. Another destroyer is about to fall here. Down it goes. Crypt Lord is strong, don't get me wrong, guys. We all know about this by now. Level 4, nothing to be sneezed at, but I mean, XlorD, he's fighting to the teeth.
That's the first time I've seen speed-scrolled Priest running into a tier 3 undead with Destroyer Fiend 3-0 upgrades. It's like, let's go! By the holy light, be cleansed.
All right, more slows coming through from the Mountain King. Drops a hammer to finish the job here. The Blade Master at a killing frenzy. Does have, of course, Lightning Orb, so could even attack the Destroyer if they wanted to. Are they banking all their hopes, the Germans that is, into a favorable defense in the undead space? But they won't even get there. And snares are too strong.
No, they're just being petulant.
Yeah. There we go. All right, equalizer, ladies and gentlemen, 2-2. Could this be where the first 2v2 that we have on Fight Night goes full distance?
It couldn't be any better. What a nice 2-2 score. And looking back at the games played so far, every time ThorZaIN got an expansion and didn't get it cancelled a bunch of times, it went really well.
ThorZaIN having almost double the points of Spiral at the final match screen. I think that tells you the whole story. His economy, superb. His army control, so strong. I really liked how he used the Mountain King as well. For once, he didn't get disturbed and bullied, and that's what you get.
Okay. I think the next map is Twisted Meadow for Spiral and Knoff.
Okay.
Let's see. The Swedes won with a Pala Rifle TC game, and they won with a successful fast expansion game.
That is true.
And then the Germans won with
good harass in the first game.
Good harass, and then Orb of Corruption timing attacks.
Yeah, with
either
Turtle
with Scroll
Rock,
of the Beast.
double creeping.
Yeah. One time was with Endurance, double creeping Ogre and Scroll the Beast, and the other was lots of harasses, where Spiral sacrificed himself to cancel the expo.
For the greater good.
The greater good. And that's all what it is about in 2-on-2. Whereas in 1-on-1, you may say losing 3 grunts is like GG. It was worth it here.
Yeah. And of course, there are some... I would say there are some races in 2v2 that can carry a little bit better than others. Human definitely being one of them.
Yeah, I think usually Orc, because they're very melee focused, unless you go for mass headhunters, Orc usually dies first. So it looks like they are not quote-unquote carrying. Their units are going to be stuck on the front line. You can't micro them much, and they will die first. So the human army often looks good at the end. The rifle's still alive, lots of damage output. And when Orc plays together with Elf, they're also in front. So Orc often dies first. Night Elf often plays an economic game. Harass, delay, again with a frontline army of Huntresses. But because they can expand, they can use Wisps well, they often look a little bit more proactive. The value of Orc lies a lot in harassment, buying time, and supportive capabilities. The Orcish army is so good at tier 3 because you have so many things that buff each other. Spirit Link, healing, endurance, Kodo. So it's very beneficial to have an Orc ally. And in the end, both players provide 50-50 of the value.
Very true. What Orcs also brings to the table, of course, is strong hero choices, whether you consider auras with the TC, or you consider just the raw healing power, of course, the Shadow Hunter. Man, we've seen him almost every day, every game. The Hex, so good to coordinating your kills and your pressure against enemy heroes, preventing them from escaping. But yeah, there's many. I think it's hard to imagine sometimes good 2v2 comps without Orc. And there are a few. Undead Night Elf, I think, has a lot of potential. But usually Orcs always provide this super cool meat shield with strong heroes that many other races can benefit from.
Yeah, Remind Soju was a very popular Korean 2v2 team.
Yep.
But we also have some cool teams in China. Undead Human, I think it was WFC
Really?
Infi or WFC someone else. Very good Undead Human team. The Americans have often brought very strong double Night Elf teams. Or Night Elf Human or something. So there are many options possible. Traditionally, the weakest was double Orc or double Human or Orc Undead. But I think almost anything is possible now.
Yeah.
And the resource sharing is still a very undiscovered aspect of 2-on-2. We can't cast much about it. Ideally, in the future, we get an observer overlay that says, Knoff transferred 400 gold.
That would be so cool.
It would be so cool, like a little beautiful pop-up, like a box with info. Ka-ching! You know, there's a lot of cool things possible.
All right, guys. So far, it looks like we're setting sail into the full distance harbor. Which team can now get a little bit of momentum back, though? That's the question. So far, the Germans look good in the games they've won, but also showed some weaknesses in the games they lost, of course. And I think, once again, it all comes down to ThorZaIN, man. Can you control this beast? Can you stop him from getting this late game human 96 supply army that he just showed us? Or, you know, is he going to ruin your day? Let's find out. Twisted Meadows, of course, another one-on-one map similar to Turtle Rock that we now see being played in 2v2. And Grubby, what would you say is like the main difference between Turtle Rock 2v2? Twisted Meadow 2v2 and Twisted Meadow 1v1?
Well, you know where your opponents are, being a 4-player map. And unlike on Twisted, like on Twisted Meadows, sometimes it can be like you're next to the Mer camp in 1-on-1. That's an advantage because you want to creep it right away. And then on 2 positions, you're not next to the Mer camp. You're next to the shop instead, which offers almost nothing at the start of the game. So that is quite imbalanced, and people love and hate this map in equal measure, but it often produces really good games. In 2-on-2, it's different. You're always both next to the Mer camp and the Goblin shop. So it feels more like a 2-on-2 map, which makes sense. It's, you know, there are 4 possible spawns. At this moment, the Swedes need to answer the following question. Are they going to fast expand? It's not Pala Rifle, so the middle left expansion looks like an attractive option for ThorZaIN. And unbeknownst to him, but good for him, is that the Undead is next to him, which means no quick Blade Master on his side of the map.
That's true.
But it looks like Spiral's going for Rock Golem creeping.
Yeah, Spiral, of course, we all know this, guys, with an barracks positioning that's so far to the creep camp, which basically helps you to lock the big boy in here in this crevice. You know, the moment he comes in with the burrow, even potentially manned by a peon helping with additional DPS. Just be careful not to steal it from your hero with the last shot. Would be the worst thing that could happen.
Knoff has that quick Farseer plus Voodoo Lounge opening. Not a super common opening. He's stopping at 17 food. So he's going to get some items. What?
Yeah.
Oh, triple barracks. This is a feeding tactic. Knoff. He's making a barracks, I think, to hide what he's doing. I think he will cancel. Yes! Yes! Oh. He made the barracks just to sell the idea to Spiral that it's going to be a normal build with shop items. Like, yeah, making a barracks, it's cool. Oh. No, it's not cool. It's triple human barracks with defense upgrade. We're going to see 3 barracks worth of footmen with only a Farseer and Knoff giving all of the resources to ThorZaIN.
This is so cool. Luring the enemies into a false state of security, you know, false sense of security. They don't expect this to come.
Yeah. What does Spiral get? He gets Scourged Bone Chimes, which is huge. And the item?
That's huge.
agility +2, also very good.
All right, here we go, guys. Also, the positioning, of course, by ThorZaIN, building those 2 additional barracks in the back so they're not as easily interrupted or scouted. And, of course, the big
4th
brain...
barracks! What the
No, wait, what?
He's not even producing from 2 yet. Now he's producing from 2. He's making another farm.
Grubby, if
4
we had that
barracks.
feature right now with gold, we would hear cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching,
We
cha-ching.
would hear it all the time.
And you know, the funny thing is, XlorD has not yet scouted. It was Spiral's job to scout. I'm actually not sure if he did.
No,
He sees the Mountain King, he sees the
Yeah.
footies, and I believe the missing barracks. Will there be an immediate adaptation? We're looking at XlorD's base.
Yep.
He's got Nerubian Tower finished, and he's making ghouls now. A 3rd ghoul, but
Yeah.
that's not unusual.
Spiral knows, of course, the German team knows by now. I mean, that's an absurd number of footmen with a Mountain King at this point to be just ignored. And yeah, ghouls, of course, being produced here, a little bit more front line, a little bit just more unit count in general, and the stun goes through. If a couple of lucky bashes come in here, the Blade Master could have taken some insane amount of damage too, and the damage has started. The damage train, let it begin here. We see shield upgraded footies in the orc base of Spiral. Good luck trying to get rid of those with your pesky burrows, and of course they're blocking so much repair surface already, so the peons can't reach at all. TP is coming through from both German players. They're desperately trying to protect the base of Spiral. If those burrows were to fall, he would be crippled for all time. And more footies are trickling in. 4 barracks production. We can see the human reinforcement run in as fast as they can.
He cancelled the 4th barracks. Yeah, he cancelled the 4th
3 is
barracks.
still
So
good
he
enough,
has
yeah.
3, which is definitely enough.
And workers! Workers are here.
Oh yeah, the militia are there for ThorZaIN. Mountain King does have heal salt, so he drops low, but it's fine. Towers now start. 1 burrow is down, but the other footies are not being controlled well. They're hitting different things, and because of Scourge Bone Chimes, Spiral is actually healing up. That burrow is alive and absolutely could have been taken down if the Farseer, the footies, and the wolves are all attacking the burrow. But it has become a fight now. The Mountain King is healing. No, yeah, he is healing on the heal salve here on the left side of the map.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so many things need to be controlled here at the same time. Towers, burrows, footmen. It's literally a micro fest right now. But I think the Germans are looking strong, don't they? Not losing the 2nd burrow was crucial for Spiral to stay in the game. For now, the Fiends are absolutely untouched. Super good. The Mountain King cannot even be a factor anymore at this point. The towers were cancelled. 2 of them only remaining, but they can be focused down by the Fiends with great ease. The workers are starting to fall as well, so maybe now it's time to take care of the heroes a little bit more. But I think the Swedish aggression could have been thwarted here at this point.
Yeah, it didn't look that strong, the execution. I mean, I'm all for cheering for the cheese builds because they're funny and cool, but this was not well executed. 4 barracks to cancel, not finishing that 2nd burrow. Just kind of in general, the control, something felt off to me. Just peasants idle at home for ThorZaIN. He has 800 lumber. You know, if you're going to feed like this, Knoff does not need 17 food. Just to sell the illusion, he does not need 17 food. Just don't have the illusion then. There's just way too many lumber. He could have brought peons. I don't know. I don't like it. It's not a very good cheese. I don't know how much they practiced it. It's all footies now against Talisman of Evasion DK and Scourge Bone Chimes Blades. Those are never going to die to footies. They're not going to be able to take enough damage in order to have that happen.
Yeah, ridiculous items, of course, for the German team as well, you know, to really help with this early aggression as well. And there is no real follow-up for this strategy, it feels like, for the Swedes, you know. Both Tier 1, Knoff has just been feeding and sending gold over, you know, and ThorZaIN, he keeps producing footmen, and that's the only thing he can go for. And of course, time is not on their side. Pit Lord now, by the way, being added. I love this. Is it going to be Cleave? Is it going to be Rain of Fire? Or is it going to be Howl of Terror? All 3 abilities actually make a lot of sense against what ThorZaIN has here.
I think now this is like a better attack. Having done a restart, it's going to be Rain of Fire, it's going to be TP, DK gets out. Rain of Fire is good, but those footies aren't dead yet. So the second coming actually could work.
Yeah.
He can interrupt with Bolt on the Pit Lord, or just dodge, lol.
Just dodge it. You know, the burning damage is real here as well. Of course, with that attempted surround, the footies were all lined up to get a little bit of a tan here. Focus fire onto the Mountain King. Hex coming through as well. Level up for Spiral and his Blade Master, who's now going to heal for even more thanks to the Skirt Boneschimes, which is still alive and kicking. The footies, though, with shields up, are slow and eventually will get picked apart as well here. Knoff's Farseer still a measly level 1 novice here in this game so far. And I think time is now definitely not on the side of the Swedes anymore. They're going to focus this guy down here. Knoff has to pull the trigger, saves it, but what does it really matter? GG, the cheese. It was a little bit over the expiration date here. And while it looked tempting at first glance and it was well hidden, the execution a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, I thought it was a well-aged cheese, but it was moldy indeed. There were some spots on there that weren't working. Just try to think of a different build where Knoff cuts 3 peons, because you don't need that much lumber. He saves 200 plus gold, which he gives to ThorZaIN. And he uses one of his scout peons to check for rock golem creeping on the laboratory. And by checking, he can attack the golem, interrupt the creeping. Now there's no 1.6 Blade Master, there's no Scourge Bone Chimes for Spiral, and he gives more gold to ThorZaIN. Those changes could have made like a difference already. This didn't feel like an optimized cheese, but it's still a nice try. In the meantime, the Germans get 1 point closer, and they are now at a match point with a 3-2 lead. We go to our 6th map.
So sick, and of course, we have to give Knoff and ThorZaIN a lot of credit. You know, I'm sure you guys in chat loved it as much as we did, because it's something different, you know. And when you're in this LAN environment that they currently have going on, you know, maybe I saw some pictures and I know they did prepare quite a bit. They were theory crafting here and there, and that's definitely one of the pocket strategies I think that they specifically designed and came up with on this map. Sadly, it didn't work out, but hey, it's really hard to make any form of cheese work against such two stellar players like XlorD and Spiral, who have, of course, great micro and great game sense to do exactly the counters against that. Could have worked. Maybe next time.
I was trying to host the game with observers, but I got a kind of bug. Hopefully it'll work this time.
Okay. What's the final map?
Cool.
Potential final map.
Now is Knollwood. The last one would be Goldshire.
Cool. As a WoW player, the name Goldshire sparks very particular memories in my oh so innocent RP career.
Good times?
Good times.
Goldshire sounds like a map, like where there's a lot of gold easily available, but it almost couldn't be further from the truth. That's a weird map where both teams have one pocket expansion, and then there's an expansion in either corner of the map that is in such deep neutral territory that it almost never gets taken. So it's not much of a gold map.
Yeah. Knollwood is another one of those goldies that never get old, really. I feel like the map is so cool and unique in its design, you know, with the fountain in the middle, with all the knolls populating it, and of course we all know the shops in the middle, or the knoll spots in the middle that are so heavily contested.
Funny thing about Knollwood, it's the only map in the pool that has a random doodad. The middle fountain is either mana or healing.
True.
And depending on what it is, it's a completely different game. And it's also the only 2-on-2 map with RNG about knowing where your opponents are. They can be right next to you, they could be right next to your ally, or not at all. So there's a lot of different permutations.
All right, guys. For those of you, once again, tuning in a little bit later, we're taking a break from the standard one-on-one fight nights, but don't worry, they will be back in 2 weeks from now with Vortex defending his title. It's the Undead, of course, till we have found a new challenger. And if you have some feedback for us there, if you have a particular race or a particular player that you would like to make an appearance here on Heroes Hearth Warcraft 3 Fight Night, let us know. Lucifron, we were kind of trying to get online for either a 1-on-1 or a 2v2. Of course, the Marino brothers would have been so strong, but that's also the reason why we don't see Vortex. He didn't have another player to play with in this short notice, because Lucifron is so busy in real life at the moment, and that's why we thought, hey, you know what? We always wanted to get ThorZaIN on the fight night. He ditched us twice because he's a very busy doctor in real life, obviously. But finally, we were able to get a hold of him.
Nice. Looks like the players are finally ready. Short break, of course.
Yes, sir.
We have been nearly 2 hours running. The series is going long. Endurance is being tested, as well as bladders.
And Ian, the man behind Heroes Hearth Warcraft 3, is a very happy man right now. When he sees how long this broadcast goes.
Nice. Players are ready. We're starting things. It's 3-2 for the Germans. Can the Swedes equalize and take us to the 5th? The 7th and final map. 5 is right out. The 7th and final map.
Yeah.
We shall see. And it looks like the orcs are right next to each other.
Oh boy, all right, okay. So who scouts first and who's going to turn on the aggression first? That, of course, remains the big question now. We see, which is a good position for XlorD, to be honest. If he was in the position of Spiral, he would be much more exposed to harass. Now he has a little bit more distance in between his base and the opponent's bases, so he, if they want to go that route again, can just creep up a little bit more, early aura, maybe early level 3 into the DK, which seems to be so important for the German game plan.
Pala rifle for ThorZaIN.
Yep, okay.
And that means probably TC for Knoff. They're going to be playing that mass meta again. Works very well for them on Avalanche, but this time it's Mana Fountain, which means everything is going to get healed, except Paladin. But this need not be an issue in 2-on-2. If Knoff is diligent with his healing salve, and either healing the Paladin or giving it to the Pala, everything's going to be fine. And we have a very strong setup here. Early rifles means you can actually take the Red Drake. Only Night Elf with archers normally gets the Red Drake, or Orc with headhunters, but rifle is by far the most common tier 1 anti-air unit. So if the control of the Red Drake goes to ThorZaIN and Knoff, and they get something redonkulous like True Shot, or even Endurance Aura with Knoff's grunts, or Devotion Aura.
Knoff is going TC, by the way.
That would be... Yeah, of course. I mean, I just said, you probably missed, it's no problem. They'd always go these Pala TC together for the double aura action.
Cool. Makes a lot of sense, of course.
A player's
And
forces are under attack.
let's see what we're gonna see. Blade Master coming through. No deviations at all. Never change a running system is what the German philosophy seems to be here. No exotic strategies, just relying on good execution and strong micro. Whereas the Swedes have been showing us a little more of a creative fireworks so far with that last game.
Yeah, a lot of different builds, but basically the Swedes have done 4 different builds. The cheese, this mass, 1 base play, and expansion play.
Yep. Blade Master coming through. TC with Aura first, of course. Nice move.
Oh!
Oh!
Knoff self-blocked his grunt, and the peon was denied by Spiral.
These little things can matter, you know? As
GG.
crazy as it sounds, but it can
I
prevent
agree,
a level
GG.
2. Yeah.
It's over.
A player's forces
You know how in Heroes of the Storm, like sometimes you play with the Tyrande and they're like, if this owl hits out the gate when the game starts, we win.
Yep.
And it hits and it's like GG. It's always true as well.
Okay. So yeah, the nulls that we've talked about earlier, guys, with the goblin shops, of course, are now being tackled by the TC. Got a dust of appearance as well, because you want to make sure that no sneaky Blade Master plays can steal your XP or can steal your items. But he's not even there. He's not even with the... Oh, look at this. Another one. Another round of dust for ThorZaIN. They are well prepared against that.
Rifles only deal 7 damage a pop on Blade Master. He's got 5.6 armor. Piercing does like, what, a third damage on hero armor? Half or a third? I guess it's half, and then there's the 5.6 armor, which reduces another 25%. So 7 damage a pop. It's not easy to dissuade him from creep stealing. It's just enough to finish the creep before the blade comes back. The real resource isn't usually the blade's health, it's his mana.
Yeah. And he has only enough mana left for 1 Windwalk, so he needs to choose very carefully, very wisely, not to overextend.
Right.
So far, very passive game from both teams. No harassing, no overcommitment. You see XlorD getting another round of skellies, close to, getting a little bit closer to level 3. but who's going to get the null overs here? Knoff has positioned some grunts here who are currently trying to hunt some of the fiends. Mana, of course, fully available for the DK and no heroes in sight. So this should be XlorD's experience and item. Ring of Protection +3.
Not too good, not too bad. I actually love Ring on Blade in 2-on-2. I think it's really good. So they should be happy with that. But XlorD can make more plays if he gets Claws +9 and puts it on his Lich. Oh, Endurance attempts around by Knoff, doesn't get it. Meanwhile, ThorZaIN finally gets to finish his creep camp. I don't know where the Paladin was. Did he actually walk to the shop looking for a healing salve while Knoff actually emptied its cooldown? How far did he go?
Yeah, that's true. 2 stacks of healing salves on Knoff, so... Yeah, and of course, during all of that... Oh my god,
nice steal by
got
Spiral.
the kill there as well.
How many dust are there?
Yeah, XlorD completely unattached. I mean, sure, if the Swedish team gets the Drake, that's going to be great. And the mana fountain, you know, if you control that, very sweet, especially for the Paladin. But can you leave XlorD alone like that? Gets a Scroll the Beast as well.
That's the best item you can get in 2-on-2. Scroll the Beast leads to sick timing attacks. Heal Scroll, Protection, Scroll the Beast. You fight. Anytime I see that, it's a 45-second disengage. So you better make sure you force a fight where there isn't something that you cannot afford to run away from. Full XP to Paladin, gets Sobi Mask. Good, but not godly.
Especially when there's a mana fountain around. It loses a
exactly,
little bit of its value.
It's still good. You're still going to spend 93% of the game not standing at the fountain. So it's still good.
True.
But if you needed mana, there's many other ways to get it. You would prefer to have True Soul's Aura. But beggars can't be choosers. Tier 2 is finished for ThorZaIN. He's making a Blood Mage, an Arcane Vault, no Arcane Sanctum yet, and in fact I'm not sure he will. He didn't do it in the Avalanche game. He just went double barracks with 2-1 upgrades. And is that what he's doing now? No upgrade yet, besides the 1-0.
Alright, XlorD just continuing down his path, creeping to glory seems to be the motto for him right now. Same for Spiral, a little bit more passive now. Shadowhunter, of course, needs that solo experience, which is why he moves away the Blade Master, as tempting as it is, but you just need the Hex, the healing waves to get to higher levels as soon as possible. Now, level 2, Blood Mage coming in once again for ThorZaIN. The mana distribution, mana control, just too important to be ignored.
Knoff almost level 3 TC. No second hero yet. Oh, no, sorry. He does have a second hero. And he's going to send it away in order to get TC level 3. That's going to be huge. And he's getting Walkers and Raiders. For ThorZaIN, what is his transition? 2 attack upgrades. No Lumber Mill, no Sanctum, no second Rax, no expansion, and no tier 3. So this is pretty much what it is. It becomes daytime. Heal Scroll is available in 1 second, but ThorZaIN and Knoff are moving past it. Normally you would pick up a Heal Scroll and go, but they're actually choosing to favor the succinctness of the timing over the Heal Scroll. That is a strange decision, but they did get a Hex Raider to start things off with. 1 unit in a big 2-on-2 doesn't seem like much, but they're riding momentum here. It's a risk though. They could have just got the Heal Scroll first, and it could be huge.
Right, during all this time, Grubby, the DK was able to replenish his mana in the middle mana fountain. And once again, we have a terrifying Lich entering this battlefield with 2 claws and lots of haste. But the stuns are strong, and the first fiend is about to fall. Speed Scroll has to be popped by Spiral to bring the German forces into a more advantageous position.
This is pretty sick. 45 defenses is not available. They're going to kill a Burrow, which means Spiral will not have any more food. He's at 38 food and 35 lumber. Spiral is locked at a level 1 blade, level 2 shadow. As for XlorD, his DK is very high level, 3. But what does it really do for the fight? Even if he gets level 4, is a bit of regen and movement speed enough to win the fight.
Yeah.
He just got Orb of Corruption. He was not yet available. It was not yet available earlier on. And that is going to be huge. Is there a Crypt Lord coming? No. Just Destroyer upgrade.
And you know, against this style of ThorZaIN, even if you get high undead heroes, the heal is always going to be that counterweight, you know? hero focus or unit focus with Coil Nova, you have a Holy Light to really protect against that. And of course, the armor aura on top of that makes it a little bit harder to nuke something down. So I agree with you. Despite having strong undead heroes, what is it really going to matter when your partner in crime, when Spiral is locked down on pure level 1 stuff and no more ways to reinforce his army? It's just not looking good for the position of the Germans right now.
ThorZaIN just finished Lumber Mill and Expansion. He's currently mining with an extra base. He's still at 50, but he's going to be able to go over. There's loads of mana on TC. He can do stomps like this, even though it wasn't good, and not feel too bad about it. They have a Dust, they have a Hex, they could have another stomp. There are 2 Destroyers and no Raiders. That means these Destroyers cannot go down unless they get mismicroed. Still, I don't think they do enough.
Yeah, and of course we see the fight near the ramp as well. The Fiends are in a very bad position when it comes to attacking the Riflemen in the back right now. The stomps are absolutely ridiculous right now by Knoff. Of course, ThorZaIN's Blood Mage can pump the mana right in, back into the cow. He drops another one, gets only a grunt. That's how freely he can throw around his mana, his stomps, just like that. Knoff on an absolute rampage. The effect of the Beast of the Scroll is still on and active, but it doesn't even matter, Grubby. You said it was the best item, and I agree. So powerful in 2v2, but hey, the Swedish boys are standing strong, and I think they're gonna go back into Spiral space where there's a shop from Knoff, and they can just finish what they started.
Spiral has 11 gold, 5 lumber. He's making a Kodo and a Grunt, but where are those going to pop out? Not in a safe place. And there's a shop here by Knoff. He's always so good with that. And that's going to be Clarity Potions to Heart's Content. There we go with the TC. Has a mana pot as well. Another Speed Scroll. This TC is claritying with full mana. That's how much mana he wants.
Mana for you, mana for him, mana for her, mana for everybody. That seems to be the motto right now for the Swedish team, with ThorZaIN doing so much work. And it can be used aggressively, of course, to really zap some blue juice away from your opposing hero. And he's baiting the German team into focusing on the Blood Mage. Is there a Holy Light? Question mark, there's no Holy Light! It was Hex the Paladin.
Blood Mage is gone, this is huge. XlorD has a decent angle here as well. The TP comes in, rifle goes down. Second rifle doesn't go down. Spiral, 36 food. XlorD, 50. He's got his Lich at level 1 still. They can actually go for the Granite Golem, get a big item, and then try to do a counterattack. Do they know that ThorZaIN has an expansion? I don't think they had the presence of mind to scout or think about it.
There is maybe a worst case scenario assumption that they can be like, yo, okay, during all of this aggression and the strong momentum they had, maybe they expanded on top of it. But there's also a thought of maybe they committed all to this attack, you know, so aggressive with the shop in their base, that they didn't even think about expanding. But yeah, this Granite Golem camp is definitely a smart move. A lot of additional resources, experience, and most importantly, the items that can be obtained here as well. But yeah, that Blood Mage was so unexpected, and oftentimes when a hero dies and the enemy players get a little bit of panic, they can really turn the whole game around. The Granite Golem is still not dead, by the way, because that's how small the forces of the German team is.
Oh, Potion of Resto, pretty good on DK. I don't think you use it just for mana on Lich. Oh! The blades for Spiral is so low.
Yeah, if they have to transfer that potion onto the Blade Master because of being out of position, that would be...
they should.
Yep.
They should give it to him now.
Yeah,
they
I think so
didn't
too.
yet.
If the Blade Master falls, it's almost impossible to hold anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's the major tank. He's got nearly 9 armor with Frost armor. Oh, Knoff's Kodo.
Yeah, that's a freebie. They're definitely going to take that. Nicely done.
Kodo bopped. 2-1 rifles, so we see ThorZaIN going to tier 3. More rifles coming. Aviary finish. TC who tries to go with the big stomp, but the Hex to interrupt it. They're hardcore focusing the TC. No more Spirit Link. He stomps, he runs, he Holy Lights, he lives.
He lives on to stomp some more. I like the idea that Spiral and XlorD had there, you know, hexing him when he thought himself safe with the stomp coming through. And I think at this point, really, the concave for the Rifleman with 2 base economy for ThorZaIN is once again coming into fruition here. The heals are so strong by the Paladin, who, by the way, chills in the back the entire time, untouched, drops out those Holy Lights over and over again. But Destroyers are still standing strong. The undead forces are not to be beaten that easily.
TC with enough mana to stomp again. This TC Blood Mage action is so insane. Destroyers being microed well. Raiders getting focused, but they are back up to a lot of health. The Ensnare for Vision, That Fiend is now a spy for the enemy. The Raider going forward to try and ensnare a Destroyer. No, says Spiral. He hexes it.
And of course, the blue Drain Mana Beam is always active, always causes trouble. Level 4 for Knoff's TC right there, becoming even more dangerous. And the Fiends, there's only so much kiting they can do. The statue numbers are also very low for XlorD because he had to use so many destroyers all the time. The stun is absolutely wicked at this point. More units are dying. Spiral is already on the ground. Don't hit him anymore. He's already finished. And XlorD is slowly losing control over his forces as well.
This is what human would look like if they had TC instead of Mountain King. Infinite mana on their warrior, non-stop war storms. It's even scarier than non-stop thunderclaps. It's pretty insane. Holy Light to heal it back up. What a nice combo here by Knoff and ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN is at 74 food. His expansion was neither scouted nor harassed. XlorD and Spiral are trying to climb a mountain that keeps getting taller.
Grubby, this is looking like a deja vu, you know, with ThorZaIN slowly but surely building up that 90, 100 food army. The Griffins are starting to fly in. We've seen that before, haven't we? And yeah. I think at this point it's safe to say that ThorZaIN's army becomes unkillable. The aura, the heals, of course the mana replenishment, it's so good. And of course keep in mind that storms are damage mitigation as well, you know, if you stun the enemy forces they can damage your own. It's just so hard to get through this, and every reinforcement that comes through from Spiral gets immediately focused down out of the production building.
Yeah, it's not been fun being Spiral this game. He's 23 food. None of his units really do much cool stuff. The best thing maybe that he could have done is ensnare things, but it's been tough for him.
There's absolutely no way they can hope to focus down that TC. We can see how XlorD is trying to drop a coil here and over there on the TC because that is ultimately the target they have to get rid of. But yeah, another stun coming through, hitting both of XlorD's heroes, the Lich and the DK alike. The A-bombs, of course, are holding the front line a little bit better, but does it really matter? Is it really going to make a difference? I do not think so. That TC is on a warpath, quite literally. Drops another big one in the back line. And the Germans, can they hold this? It would have been match point for them, but the Swedes are fighting with great ferocity.
3-3 is looming on the horizon. The Swedes moving forward. TC stomp. XlorD GG. It is 3-3. We go to the final map on Goldshire.
Goldshire shall be the place where it's all decided. The final battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly had a little bit of a bad conscience when I invited Spiral and XlorD, and I let Spiral decide, you know, his ally. And Spiral didn't even take, I think it took him less than 2 hours to confirm, and he had XlorD locked in. I'm like, oh boy, okay, pulling out the big guns.
Oh yeah. You're like, wow, nice, getting a top 2 W3 champions player, huh? Not holding back. In one-on-one anyway.
Yeah. But hey,
the Swedes have that bootcamp.
They do
synergy
have that
going
advantage,
on.
yes. And it really goes to show, like, I really like what you mentioned earlier, Grubby, saying that, true, Knoff might not be, you know, one of the top 15, top 20 Grandmaster players in W3 Champions at the moment, but that doesn't take anything away from his class, individual skill, that he overall has in the game. You know, just because he might not be able to grind as much, or maybe has a little bit of unlucky matches in a row, in 2v2 he really shows all of his finesse.
Yeah, he does. And I think Knoff is actually strongest when he's on TC first. He's very confident. Like I've played with him. Every time he's on TC first, it's just like, okay, let's go. I'm like, I'm not sure we can. Let's go. And then he walks forward and he's off. And then he wins. So
Wonderful.
Pretty good. With Farseer, I think he's a bit more. I think Farseer is his weakest opening hero, but still very good. And then Blade, he's doing a lot of like one-on-one style with Blade, where he tries to engage one person, keep them busy, focus hero and stuff. I think but TC, every time he's on TC, it's looking really, really good. And for that reason, I wonder if, even though this is not as much of a Pala TC map, maybe they should just go for it. They've won twice with it. It also makes it the most obvious play, let's say.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, Game 7 in a best of 7. We couldn't have asked for more on a Friday night. Hope you guys are stacked on snacks and drinks. I mean, what more can you ask for? And also, we wanted to highlight our big sponsor, Juked.gg. Very important. Show them some love because they've been supporting us here on the Fight Night for quite some time now. It's an esports portal that allows you to follow all of your favorite esports games, from MOBAs to FPS, real-time strategy games. You know, they have it all. And I'm personally using it a lot. I think it's so much more well-structured than just trying to browse through Twitch and finding all the esports action in this way. It's really a good stuff, and check it out, guys.
Many different gaming categories.
Warcraft 3, one of them.
Yeah, Warcraft, one of them. You guys can check out the link in the chat if you want to keep up to date with esports news during a potentially very busy life. Now, we are waiting for the 7th map in this best of 7. Winner takes all, which is what exactly, Kendrick? Are we giving them 100
We have
each?
the same prize pool value that we normally have in 101. So that
100
means
each for the winners then.
Exactly. So we have 400 for the winning team in total, split through 2, of course, split by 2.
Wait, what? Oh, you doubled it.
Yeah.
200 per person winner.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought maybe like administratively it will be difficult to handle since we suddenly jumped on the orcs. Like, let's do a 2-on-2. So there's more prize money being given away this week.
We're not that cheap, Grubby. We want to.
I mean, sometimes people may not be cheap, but administratively it's like, oh, it's difficult, and I need to talk to legal, and I need to talk to finance.
I have been there. I have been there definitely, and
there's
but hey,
budgets.
I fight for my players, and I want them to be well awarded in these serious times.
I'm not saying we're
Corona.
cheap at Heroes Hearth. I'm just saying administratively sometimes it's not so flexible. No, but that's great. So $200 per person per winner.
Yes.
$100 per person per loser. Nice.
That is very true. And of course, for those of you who are missing Vortex and who are missing some of the one-on-one action, just be patient for 2 more weeks when the undead Lich descends back from his frozen throne to fight another challenger. We don't know yet who it is, so you can always hit us up. Check us out on YouTube, check us out on Twitter, and in the comments there or in the tweets, you can always let us know what you guys want to see next. And we're very appreciative and very thankful for all of your support in the previous time already. I mean, let's face it, without the viewers, without you guys tuning in on a regular basis, this fight night would not be there anymore. And as such, our thanks to you guys.
Yes, the moment you stop believing in us, we disappear.
True.
Always keep faith.
That's the way it goes.
We're still waiting for one player. Some of the players went for a bit of air. Looks like everyone is filtering in now.
Hey, thanks to Mbala, by the way, for
tense
checking
moment.
out Juked. Says it's awesome. It really is. It's always hard to let something new come to your life. But trust me, guys, if you're into esports, Juke.gg will change your life for the better. And here we go. It's the final game on Goldchar. Actually, I have to admit, it's a map I'm not very familiar with in Warcraft 3. So I'm excited to see what it offers.
This is an anti-symmetric map.
Yep.
The player bases are pretty symmetrical, but top left is a triple camp, bottom right is a double camp. And actually, I'm very familiar with all of this map except top left. Somehow the opposing team always cleans out the entire top left of the map. I take some small camps together with my ally in mid and their side, and we fight and we fight. And then, like, at some point, I think we should take the Ogre Lord bottom right, and we get it. Then you go top left, which is so far away. It's like, I hope they left one of the 3 camps. They never do, Kendrick. They never leave anything. Sad. So I don't even know which creeps there are there. But we shall see.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe Rekrem. I saw our walking encyclopedia. I can even pronounce that word. Our walking lexicon. Much easier. Maybe he knows.
Who's that?
Rekrem. I saw him in chat earlier.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
He also told us in chat earlier, by the way, that the Summon Doomguard from the item cannot be dispelled, whereas the ultimate can.
Was that him that said it? I thought it was someone else.
Maybe someone else was it and he just parroted it off, but I didn't know that before.
I didn't know that either. I thought that I saw XlorD dispel the Doomguard, but with how long it stayed alive, maybe it...
No, in the previous fight where we saw it, it didn't get dispelled.
Outsmarting says both can't, but I have had my Doomguard dispelled before, so that's not true.
All right, XlorD needs a couple of seconds, guys. I mean, it's
No problem. This is our final game. We'll wait as long as it takes.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that nothing is left to coincidence in this final game. Grubby, are you going to stream after?
Yes, I am.
Any plans? Saw
Warcraft
you
3, I
dipping
think.
a little bit into Total War again.
Yeah, oh, dude, I love Total War. I mean, I don't have to be sad if I can't find games in Warcraft 3 anymore. I'll just go to Warhammer 2.
Yep.
It's really fun. I love it. But, you know, tonight, still just planning Warcraft 3. If I can't find games, I'll try some Total War again. Still on that Lizardman campaign.
Have you already seen the big slards, like the big fat belly dude sitting on a throne?
No, I
Also
haven't
happening
yet.
to be one of the strongest casters in the game. So it's a
Have
big
not
toad.
seen yet.
It's a big toad carried.
This morning I woke up to one of our viewers on Heroes Hearth and in my stream recommending I get a new DLC. Not the Warden and Punch, but another one. So that I can get some kind of big Saurus giants.
Yeah. There's plenty of Lizardmen heroes or warlords that you can unlock.
It's nice. Did you know that Warcraft 1 was intended to be built inside the Warhammer universe?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Like
know
the
that.
game, they asked Games Workshop to build a licensable game. Blizzard, like young Blizzard, asked, and I think it was turned down. So then they changed the premise of what they had a bit. But obviously, there's inspiration from Warcraft. Well, there's inspiration from the Warhammer universe in like racial identities of like orcs raiding and stuff. You know, Blizzard, they reiterate.
I didn't know that they were actually turned down by Games Workshop. I thought they were just smart about it and copycatting, just like out of the blue.
I think that's how it happened. Other people will know the story better, but that is what I've heard. And of course, StarCraft 1 also borrows heavily from pop classics, like you know, the Alien movie,
and the
Starship
Warhammer 40K.
Troopers, Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, it's literally the Space Marines are looking very similar to, of course, the normal Marines from the Terrans.
The Sigourney Weaver Hydralisk, like the aliens, they're just like Hydras. So.
Yeah. All right, guys, it looks like everyone is ready. Everyone get in here for that epic showdown between Team Germany, represented by Spiral and XlorD, and the Swedes, the Vikings, currently in a ting, hurtling up, and you know, we probably see some cheering in the back. I really want to have a winner's interview with both players, and I'm pretty sure if it's the Swedes, we're gonna hear some background noise.
I'm looking forward to it, but hopefully whoever wins, we can interview them, the deserving winner. Spiral XlorD still need a few seconds, it looks like, so I'm eating a kumquat. Need a bit of power for this final game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight.
Pizza.
Not in
Frozen
Sweden.
pizza.
You have to be very careful.
Garlic sauce kebab pizza, I recommend.
I actually do have some. Have some frozen chicken kebab that I could warm up.
Is that frozen after you ordered it after a night out of drinking,
No,
and then you
that's
were like,
coming
"Hey, I
straight
still
from
have
the
some
grocery
left." Okay.
All right, Spiral and XlorD, go, 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 and go we shall do. So here we go, guys. Let us know in chat how excited you are, because I certainly am, and Grubby is as well. So Goldshire. Let's go. Game 7 here. The winner takes it
Pala
all.
rifle. I knew it. That's best of 7 mentality, right? Like you always know, people win with what? They lose with that. You go what? Pala rifle has been successful. 2-0.
Has Paladin won
100%.
every time?
What's that? Yeah.
Has
yeah.
Paladin won every time so far in the series, right?
Well, not second Pala. Not when they went Pala second on
yes.
Turtle Rock.
Pala
that
first.
one was... Yeah, Pala first is 2-0. So you know they're going to do it. Thanks for the sub, Shock You Good. Welcome to the Heroes Hearth community.
All right, guys. We know what's coming from ThorZaIN. Knoff has surprised us a couple of times already. Whereas the Germans...
Spiral.
Oh, go.
Spiral's going Moss as well. They are
he's gonna play
evolving Kendric.
Hunters with an early War Mill.
Yeah, this is actually a build I'm 0-2 against in solo. Warmill, like burrow into Warmill, into altar, into barracks. TC comes out when you have about 3 headhunters.
Is
which
Exlor
means
gonna go ghouls?
probably Crypt Lords, ghouls, I would say. Yep. That's gonna be a double crypt, mass ghouls, mass beetles, mass skeletons, with TC mass headhunters against Pala mass rifles, and TC not mass grunts. Knoff is gonna be the combo breaker. He's gonna go tech to tier 2. And what does that really get him in a game like this, Kendrick? He's going to eventually get a Shadow Hunter. He's going to have 1 Raider. He's going to have 1 Walker. And that's going to take a long time. And I'll tell you what, it will not come in time to be relevant. Now, he is beyond scouting. You see this. You see the Crypt Lord, ideally. You cancel your tech, you go second barracks. Or you go War Mill, Spikes, and Towers. I wonder if he's going to see the Crypt Lord. He sees 3 ghouls, no graveyard, so they should know.
Could be a Dread Lord. Maybe they're expecting an expansion or something along those lines. Or maybe they just know that it could be the Crypt Lord. Well, now they know. Nice positioning, by the way. I think he could get that peon if he just stutter steps to victory, and he does exactly that. Memphis on now for the first time, summoning the beetles, getting the skelly, selling the TP, because you don't need no protection in the early game. And it could be, Grubby, it could be an expansion here with the sacrificial skull.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually too early for a rush. So they're going to go for a Crypt Lord. This is still super cool. Not double Crypt then. Oh, he's selling Altar. Okay, this is like his build in solo. So he's selling Altar, Crypt Lord Ghoul Fast Expo, together with TC Mass Headhunters. Now the weird thing about this is mass, but it's not double aura. Nor would you want Vampiric Aura with Mass Headhunters. It's not really relevant. So it's just mass, but not super synergistic. Endurance Beetles and Ghouls is alright, but yeah, it's like neither side is really offering the other much. The synergy here lies in the strength in numbers, Kendrick, of Spiral and XlorD. Now, Knoff and ThorZaIN, they are doing what we have seen them do before, and Knoff's tech is not going to be as much of a burden as I feared. It's going to be useful, actually. They creep their expansion right away, but without the intent to fast expand, because ThorZaIN's tech has been started. It's XlorD this time who expands earlier, and I don't see a lot of scouting coming out from ThorZaIN and Knoff, nor fear. Yeah, you see Crypt Lord first, it seems like they're already familiar with what is going to happen. They don't think it's going to be a tier 1 rush.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams showing confidence, great confidence in this. You know, both are executing their expansion plans, and both of them think that they have the stronger composition in the mid game. Of course, that remains to be seen who's in the right here, but, you know, it's very similar. 2 TCs we're going to see here, 2 strong melee alternatives here with the Crypt Lord and the Paladin. A lot of aura advantage, I think, of course, is on the side of the Swedes here with the Paladin Devotion aura. But, yeah, the Crypt Lord. We've seen and talked about it many, many times before. The Beetles, what can they do in the mid-game in a 2v2? I think they were actually weaker in a 2v2 because of just more damage being around and they get popped more quickly.
Yeah, more AoE.
Yes.
But it's not just about Beetles. XlorD is going to have Impale. And TC by Spiral has Stomp. So they have double stun AoE. True. Which is pretty cool synergy. A big push coming out here. XlorD is so close to level up to level 3. He started his tech. His expansion is starting to mine. This actually looks so good for the Germans.
Yeah. Spiral coming through, diving deep into the backline, taking full shots from the Arcane Tower. Doesn't care. Lightning Shield onto the Militia, onto the Workers and the Human Army, dealing so much AoE right now. And the second Lightning Shield going onto the Rifle immediately. That's actually really, really good for the German team, who is desperately trying to get that second tower down ASAP. The Undead, though, XlorD not following up immediately. Plus, only summons, only Skellies and Beetles really to add to this fight.
Okay, this doesn't go as well as I thought it will We do have a big impale coming on XlorD, but he did not lose a single grunt. Nice micro with the speed scroll and sending the grunts away. In the meantime, Spiral Headhunters are not getting the kills against Holy Light. TC gets surrounded. That's a TP. How many Headhunters is he going to lose? One? Just one.
I think he may have lost one before there on the left-hand side as well, but yeah, he could have definitely lost more. I mean, if the Headhunters had not been evacuated there, dire straits. But yeah, how much damage was it really? ThorZaIN lost a couple of workers, lost 2 towers, has to rebuild at least 1. That's really pesky, but not game-breaking.
Militia are still not mining. They're still near the barracks. He lost at least 2 peasants, if not more. ThorZaIN now has no lumber to counter-expand, and I don't know that they're really sure that XlorD expanded.
Yeah.
I mean, they could guess it. You can never know what's inside someone's head. But no effort has been done to scout or to counter the expansion right now. And with ThorZaIN having no lumber, he's going to rely completely on Knoff offering lumber. Guess what? Knoff has no lumber either. Oof. So that basically means the next 5 minutes, there will not be a counter expansion. Going up against an extra base for 7 minutes, it gets to the irrecoverable realms soon, unless you get major advantages on other sides of the map. In addition to that, although the pressure play didn't do as much unit damage, they did do the economic damage. The Germans made both of the Swedes town portal. Paladin, no TP. TC, no TP. So they cannot play as flexibly in a macro game. The Germans have a great game plan in this game. And Cryptlord is level 3 with high level Impale. It's double Crypt Fiends coming out now. The weakest part of XlorD's play is he does not have a very good army. He's started on Fiends. They're not going to do that much against Holy Light grunts with rifles. So this is the strongest moment that we're ever going to have for the Swedes.
Oh boy, level 2 beetles in the mix now. We see them a little bit beefier. The one beetle that was abandoned in the bottom left, by the way, acts as a nice scouting tool to see when ThorZaIN, or if ThorZaIN was ever going to come up with a second base here. And it is ThorZaIN and Knoff that now are trying to deliver a little bit of counter-aggression. They think that aggressiveness here is the best defense because you want to keep your opponents at bay. You know, you don't want them to storm your base because if they do so with overwhelming numbers and greater hero levels right now, it would be very hard to get rid of them.
TC waiting to TP. He has TP, heal scroll, protection scroll, and lightning shield. In they come. Big impale. He needs to stay away from Siphon mana so that he can do one more impale. These ghouls, not that strong right now. But there's so many headhunters here from the right side by Spiral. Nice hex to stop the stomp and to keep the Siphon up.
Absolutely, Grubby. This number of headhunters is absolutely ridiculous. The concave is
Wow,
strong.
that's so cool play. Another Siphon hex. Not a single stomp came out yet. So good.
Really, really good. The coordination now between the 2 Swedes. And there's another one. You can really see this coming into full effect. Spiral has no juice left whatsoever. Cannot stomp to his heart's content. And on a level 3 TC, that's basically all you want to do. Level 4 now even has no mana regeneration. Look at Knoff with the lightning shield just dealing terrible damage onto Spiral's units in the back. XlorD is surrounded. Is he going to make it? Yes, he will TP to safety, but that is still something he would have saved for later.
This is so sick. A triple hex Siphon on TC to stop stomp 3 times mid-animation,
so good.
As well as a war stomp by Knoff on that TC. The Headhunter's got lightning shielded stomped. Spiral's down to 38 food. He does not have Berserker upgrade yet. He's been driven into a corner, siphoned and snared, bullied, surrounded, hexed, focused
and very much pressured. I love Knoff's micro in this, driving the grunts in the TC behind Spiral's TC so he cannot escape. This one is trapped. He cannot be saved anymore. There's no TP. There's no healing left whatsoever. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Spiral is going to lose his main hero. They have nothing left for the Orc once again. True XlorD is looking okay. DK is here. Cryptlord is here. And let's see if that hero focus overall is going to cost the Swedes too many units in the course of this battle.
Not too bad now with the Zerkers. 1-0 attack upgrade and turning on the Berserk. That's a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
DK and Cryptlord doing good damage. Beetles doing very good damage. Rifles are starting to fall. There goes down 1. More ghouls come in. That's a lot of Zerkers. Knoff's army is falling. ThorZaIN made a counter expansion in the meantime, and his Paladin level 4 Blood Mage 2 are doing much work. But without AoE healing, the rifles are eventually going to fall.
Yep, the rifles are gonna fall here. Knoff is trying to pay back the damage with a big stun into Spiral's Berserkers. Once again, the Lightning Shield helping out a little bit there. Mana Transfuse onto the Paladin, so important. Needs to keep those heals up as much as possible. Baits them into a false sense here as well, and the Blood Mage stays alive. Level 4 now for Knoff. Oh my god, these stuns are absolutely ridiculous with those stomps. But is it going to be enough? ThorZaIN in a lot of pressure here. The Undead Heroes are chasing down the low herd riflemen in the back here. The fight is now stretching across 3-4 screens at the same time. It's really hard to keep track of everything right now. The statues are being focused really good. The backbone, the Achilles heel of XlorD. He needs to get the regeneration and the sustain out of that fight.
Yeah, one statue still alive, providing a few small heals on the headhunters. Where is that gosh darn TC? Spiral, 75% of the way back. Never got to the tavern, never managed to rebuy it there. Needs his TC, still pumping headhunters, not even using his Torrent Totem. What about XlorD? How is he spending his economy? He brought all of his ghouls. They've been fighting, and now XlorD is out of lumber. He's actually producing 6 ghouls right now from 2 crypts. Not the army you want to stop this.
Yep.
The shop by Knoff has been doing so much work with clarity on the Blood Mage, mana pots on the TC.
Grubby, is this the stable fortification, the strong foothold that the Swedish team needs, with a shop there constantly being able to refill that mana? The Blood Mage, of course, acting as a mana hospital himself here. The Crypt Lord falls for XlorD, so only Spiral now in full strength with his Berserkers in the back though, but without stuns, without beetles. What is the German army composition really worth here? Lightning Shield on the DK. Can that help him a little bit here? And it feels like once again ThorZaIN is making the difference with the mana distribution, but of course we can't forget about Knoff. We can't forget about Knoff with that stun. The surround of the DK. XlorD out of heroes, out of options, question mark. That remains to be seen. Only Spiral left in the fight with something that resembles an army, and Knoff leading Team Sweden to victory here. You said it, Grubby. He's confident when he has the cow and he's charging the way. Go, go, go is the command here, and I'm pretty sure the Swedish homies are cheering in the back as well in the land right now. Can they finish it though? Can they get the job done?
Spiral's TC is level 5 and a bit. This is pretty sick, but he has no shop, unlike the attackers. Meanwhile, Paladin is level 5. He's got Holy Light level 3. Might have seen him go for the Devotion Aura, but that's just too greedy. He wants to make sure he can save any hero that needs to be. In comes the Hex, the War Stomp. The TC is getting closer. TC Stomp in 3, 2, 1. He gets... Oh, he gets blocked by his own grunt. There we go.
Oh, Knoff drops the Stomp right there and gets another kill on his cow brother. The fake imposter is dead. Long live the real Tauren Chieftain. Close to level 5 here. Knoff flexing all of his biceps at the same time, probably at this moment. XlorD has nothing left but herd statues and a couple of lousy ghouls, and that is just simply not enough to make a comeback happen in this. It seems level 3 Blood Mage, level 4 Blood Mage. I take that back. The Paladin on his way to victory. And what is it really worth it? When are they gonna drop the nail in the coffin?
ThorZaIN's mine has been, at his expansion, has been mining undisturbed ever since that lonely sentinel beetle was guarding there. No counterattacks with beetles were even possible. That's the extent of the pressure that was being delivered by ThorZaIN and Knoff. Going for the burrows once again. Spiral, almost at no point in this series, has had fortified defenses.
True.
And the Swedish abuse that with relish game after game. The score is 3-3 and it's looking very good for ThorZaIN and Knoff.
Very good indeed. No supply left for Spiral. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't rebuild anything that he currently has. It's all on XlorD and the remaining Berserkers and the remaining TC for Spiral to aid him in that very, very ambitious endeavor. When ThorZaIN, probably alone with his army, could probably best the 2 remaining German forces here. Nice stomp this time by Spiral, keeping them at bay just a little bit. There is an expansion, of course, still mining for XlorD. Let's not forget about that. Tier 3 is there. More ghouls and destroyer upgrade in the making. But hey, these ensnares right now for Knoff are absolutely punishing. Every statue that's in the middle of the open will get ensnared and taken down.
Stomp level 3, every single... No, one ghoul didn't get stunned. It's alright.
Impale, on top of that, the CC chain is real, but that's pretty much the only thing that they have. Stuns are nice, but what are they worth, Grubby, when there's no damage follow-up right there?
We have no damage. Every HOTS team ever, and also XlorD and Spiral right now.
We're gonna see some ultimates in this game. Level 6 is getting closer and closer. Spiral is basically playing a MOBA right now. Only has TC control. Nothing else really left in his base for him to do. Completely blocked out of his existence. And, the ensnare goes through, and he's close to trees, which makes the surround surface even tinier. And the Swedish, they're gonna take that kill with open arms, wide open. Spiral out of the game.
2 rifles in the meantime. Stayed behind. And shots at peons. 0 food remaining for Spiral. Now, if XlorD sponsors him, he can once again make his TC. Before the fortress falls, TC can come back. But 3 strength heroes is not typically what you want to have against Blood Mage, who can siphon each if they want to ever contribute with auto attacks.
Yeah, very true. There was no damage dealer really either for the German team here. It was just like they were pressured so hardcore. Once again, the Swedish forces, the wedge in between the 2 German bases. Reinforcements were cut off. Strong hero focus when it was needed. And I mean, really just the rifles protected so darn well every time.
When ThorZaIN went for Archmage, 4 games, 3 of them were won by the Germans. But when ThorZaIN went for Paladin, it's 3 for the Swedes.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Mountain King third, Griffins coming out.
True, we do have some towers now protecting the expansion. Lich, the infamous trifecta of undead heroes. We have seen them turn around games all by themselves. Undead heroes have this infamous reputation, but hey, it takes more than just that to turn this around here with ensnares. Level 4 Shadowhunter, level 5 TC, level 5 Paladin, close to level 6. Can you imagine, Grubby?
That would be nice.
It's pretty bad.
But they have to lose units first. Lol. Crippler TP's out. Ghouls, you might as well attack with peasants at this point.
True.
Level 3, 2, 1. Lich. Cho Namoth. Speed scroll ghouls. A speed scroll. Ghoul destroyer attack. At 18 minutes.
XlorD follows Spiral's example and is now food blocked. 53 to 50, and they tap out. GG! Skull to all my fellow Swedes out there. Very well fought. They were behind so many times, Grubby. Momentum was against them plenty of times in this series, but they kept their calm. The Swedish Scandinavian nerves reigned supreme, and although Spiral and XlorD put up one hell of a fight, it was not their day today.
Nope, it was not, but you know, can you really call them the losers? When you win 3 out of 7 maps, everyone's a winner. They just get less prize money and they're not the winner, but but I feel like everyone is the winner, and we had so many cool games, and it's so nice to have 2v2 on the menu. It's more hectic. I notice my throat is more used than in 1-on-1.
My palms are sweaty and my throat is dry. It is just so good. The show that we had, and I can tell by the reactions in chat as well that they enjoyed it as much as we did. I mean, we have Swedish winners, we have German winners in our hearts. We are winners because we were able to cast such an amazing series, and the chat is a winner as well because they were able to enjoy some damn fine Warcraft 3 on the weekend.
Yeah, very nice kickstart to the second day of their bootcamp. The Swedes, of course, you can catch a lot more of them on Twitch, most likely. I imagine Knoff will be streaming at points. Maybe ThorZaIN, maybe Scoot. I don't know exactly, but you should be able to see some activities around them. A very fun weekend of Warcraft 3. Lovely community, the Swedes, who often get together and do some LANs. That's going to be fun. In the meantime, of course, a big shout out to Spiral and XlorD, who delivered a fantastic performance, and without whom we could not have had such an awesome fight night.
Absolutely agree, Grubby. I think this was a win-win-win-win situation for casters, fans, players, teams alike. Fantastic. Should we try to get the winners on an interview if they're ready?
Let's do it. Let's try.
If they're not already drunk on mead after the celebration.
They come in pints?
Yeah, I'm going to end the call and just start a new one with Knoff. because I'm not sure if ThorZaIN is available. But let's see.
Okie dokie.
Wow, what a series, guys. You got to be kidding me. That was amazing. Let's get the winners on board here in a group call because we want to hear live from the Swedish boot camp. They're probably celebrating like crazy, but let's get them all in here. All right, there we go. We're going to do this. Stop ringing here, stop ringing there. So now all the right people are getting ringed.
Hello, guys.
Hey, congrats, dude.
Hey, thank you. ThorZaIN is here as well.
Yeah, we're doing
is he with you?
Yes.
Oh, hey, man.
Nice.
Hey, man. Hey, Manuel.
Yeah, I mean, just take it away, Grubby. I'm sure you have a lot of things to ask, and I'm sure chat wants to just know more about the team that came seemingly out of nowhere. You know, I was kind of not even expecting ThorZaIN to be available. I wasn't sure if you guys were busy on the land, but thank you so much for playing. It was a great pleasure. And Grubby, just shoot away with the questions, man.
Yeah, great 2v2, guys. Very nice. All the way to the 3-3 score. Let's talk about that final map first. What was your thinking going into that last map? Because this is not a fountain map, and still you went for Palatisi.
I think it just... So, me and Knoff, we used to play so much together, but recently we haven't played that much. So, I think none of us are really experienced with the matchup. But it really felt like the Palatisi style fits really well against specifically Orc Undead. Because there's no mana drain and no defense footies and not, well, there's a ton of AoE, but AoE that is, you can disable it kind of easily with Siphon mana. So we felt like it worked so well in the first 2 times we tried it that we decided to just go for it again because it felt like a strong build.
Yeah, and also the straight up, I mean, playing the standard wasn't feeling like the right choice here on this map. As well, we don't think it would work out with expand as well, so that's why we went for it too.
And you guys didn't seem too bothered about XlorD expanding almost at any point in the series, including Lost Temple when he took the corner, but also here. Now you scouted Knoff the Cryptlord first. Did both of you have a really solid idea about what's going to happen? Did you fear a tier 1 rush with Beetles, or you knew it's going to be an expansion and simply were not bothered?
You can start.
Yeah, we were thinking like the game plan was to get to level 3. Like the best thing would be that both of us got level 3, and then we were supposed to push after that. So we weren't really stressed about like we were kind of sure it was an expand and not a tier 1. You know, when I talk with you, Grubby, I always get reminded of this.
I'm not trying to be like a grammar stickler.
No, but it's good. I want to learn, you know. That's why I'm playing with this guy. Yeah, so that's it.
I now see why you love playing with ThorZaIN so much.
Yeah, of course.
Very solid play. I was a little confused about the 4 barracks, ThorZaIN.
Yeah.
Did you lose count?
This goes way back. So me and Skut used to play, like this goes back to the W3 arena. We used to play a lot of random. And whenever he got human, he would do MK and like just tons of footies. And we would never ever lose a game with it. But we only played like 6 games, so it was a really small sample size. But I was like, maybe 4 years later, patches, different meta. Let's just go for it. Twisted Meadows didn't feel like a fun map, anyways.
Yeah.
But did he tell you it was 4 barracks?
No, I think he did 2 usually, and I did 4, and then I canceled the 4th one. And I was like, so I never did this before, but that's why it was so off.
Yeah, it did look a little off. I loved the fake barracks by you, Knoff.
Sorry, what did you say, Grubby?
I loved the fake barracks by you.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah. It was a tricky move, right?
Yeah, it was good. I think it helped sell the illusion. But yeah, they got the bone chimes and not totally, but
yeah, that item helped a lot, I think.
To survive, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a live audience? The other Swedes watching and cheering?
Yeah, why are they so quiet? We thought we would see like champagne bottles popped, or Endar screaming something in the back?
No, it was not quiet. It was a lot of noise when we won.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were concentrating when we were in the series, so we were just trying to focus on the game and then celebrating afterwards.
Nice.
What's left in the schedule now in the boot camp? Any other plans for the remaining days, or what are some of the activities you guys were planning on doing? Because I already saw you were exercising like crazy today outside, you know?
Yeah, we went to do an obstacle course here in Mjällby, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, really hard too. Like
Yeah. Knoff and the Dark Move did pretty well, but me and Scott were like walking and still couldn't catch our breath. It was so hard and had to skip like 20-30% of all the obstacles. But tomorrow, the plan is to do the Swedish Championship.
Boom.
And before that, go to the gym together. And I
What
think
kind of Swedish championship? Like, again, obstacle course or Warcraft?
yeah.
No, in Warcraft 3. Warcraft
Okay.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna play all the guys who are here, but also the Swedes who are at home and couldn't join us today.
Yeah.
Or
nice.
at
Is
this
there a
event.
defending champion?
I think that would be me.
ThorZaIN has won the last, I don't know, 4 years maybe, I guess.
Nice. Well, enjoy the weekend. It sounds like a lot of fun, and congratulations on this victory. I don't know if we're gonna have more 2-on-2. There's really nothing we can say about it. Don't want to bring up any hopes, but we'll think about you guys if we're gonna do another one. Congrats and enjoy the victory.
Thanks so much for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you so much, guys. Always fun playing with you. And yeah,
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And thanks to you, the viewers out there as well. Without your support and without the cheers in chat, and chat has, I think, taken this 2v2 very positively. So the chances, I think, for a rematch or just a re-up of the series of this format could be pretty high. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's looking good. Guys, thank you so much for a long evening of competitive Warcraft 3 2-on-2 on the highest level. I think it's safe to say, Grubby, that I had an absolute blast. And before we take off and release you onto your own stream, the final words belong to you. Where can people find you? Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Camp Knoff, guys. Check it out. Knoff teaches people in real life. He's torturing me in Uppsala right now in Sweden, you know, crushing my bones. But he also teaches Warcraft 3 to you out there. Check it out.
Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this fight night. We'll be back in 2 weeks from now at 7 p.m. That's 1 hour earlier than we started today. Maybe that'll be our standard slot, but we will always be flexible to when players are available as well. So the only thing you can really do to be safe and to make sure you don't get a serious case of FOMO disease, fear of missing out, you have to hit follow on this channel, on Heroes Hearth. Follow Heroes Hearth. They'll have a lot more Warcraft 3 content coming up, and make sure to turn on notifications. And you'll know when we're back in 2 weeks from now. For now, we release you all from watching us. Thank you so much. And of course, you can check out the Twitch category for various other Warcraft 3 people streaming. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend. Peace.
Bye.
thank you, guys. GG, see you.
DJs.
See you tomorrow, Grubby.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.